The Z to Z Podcast.
Good morning, good evening, or good day, and welcome to the Z to Z Podcast, the home for Xbox achievement hunters and Gamerscore junkies. I'm your host, Brandon Freeman. Thank you so much for listening. At Z to Z, we love gaming, and in particular, grabbing achievements and gaining Gamerscore. We do news, reviews, and interviews. If it's about achievements, we'll unlock it. You can find show notes for this show, as well as previous shows, on our website, z2z.com. This is episode 121. You can also contact us with questions and comments on Twitter, at Z2Z, Z-E-D-T-O-Z-E-D, over at our forums, forum.z2z.com, or email us directly, contact@z2z.com. So let's get this show started. You saw in my TA feed, I said Proulx is here with me, and sure enough, he has not failed. How are you doing, Proulx?
I'm doing fantastic.
That's wonderful to hear, but that call did not go unnoticed, and we also have Doughboyee with us. How are you doing, Dave?
I'm good. Good to be back.
Did you do anything fun for your birthday? That was just last week?
No, not much of anything yet.
Was it a milestone at least? Was it anything good happen?
It's the Kevin Smith birthday. It's 37, so.
Oh, okay.
That's about it. Nothing fantastic. But.
Okay, that's fine. That's fair. Hey, a lot of stuff going on this week. Tons of random stuff, certainly for the community. And, we're just getting started here in April. And the brand new month, fun things happening. I have to tell you this story, though. I know, we're going to get attacked because I'm not going to be talking about achievements for like 10 minutes, but you got to hear this story because I had two things happen to me. How often do you guys use Facebook? Are you guys regulars on there, or at least semi-proficient?
I used to use it a lot, but in light of recent events, I've definitely scaled back. But
yeah,
that's more of a recent thing.
Yeah, Dave, you Facebook at all?
I'm a frequent Facebook user, yeah.
Yeah, right?
Especially with family and extra life and everything else that I keep up with. Exactly. But so here's my thing, right? I have the account, but I don't really do anything with it. I exist online so that people like that, family, friends, whatever, they can get a hold of me. And I don't need to, I'm not going to invite my gym to my Discord channel. That's just not going to happen. That's a different community. So anyway, two things happened on Facebook this week, and I'm not good at it. So here's the first thing. Of course, it was April Fool's last weekend, and I don't know if anybody was using Google at the time. I always plug in my route to work to see, if traffic alerts pop up or anything like that. And so I plug in work, and it gets me there, and it says, hey, you've reached your destination. And all of a sudden, Waldo pops up and he peeks his head out of the side of the map. And I'm like, what?
Nice.
That's interesting. All right, well, so I click on Waldo, and it brings up an old Waldo book. And, of course, you know Waldo as the thick-framed... Well, he looks like Proulx. Thick-framed black glasses.
I do not wear stripes, Fream.
The red and white striped shirt with the stocking cap with the little red palm on it. Very iconic figure who always was getting lost and hiding in wacky pictures. And so your object was to find him and all these things. Well, anyway, it brought up pages from the book into Google Maps, and it'll say, oh, you looking for him in Tokyo? And it'll bring up a Tokyo-themed Where's Waldo? And you can click on him in Google Maps and, play the game. Find the wizard, the Wenda, Oddlaw, his, dog. The dog was always the hardest to find because it was just, its tiny little squiggle tail sticking out. But so anyway, I went through all those, and it was fun, right? Silly little April Fool's thing. So it just so happened that day, late that day, well, this was actually on Monday, so it was even April 2nd at this point. But Google had left it open since, people weren't doing things on Sunday. And so I get to Facebook, and we had, we kind of do this thing where it's a Transformation Tuesday. And so leading into Tuesday, it was late Monday night, somebody had posted one of their transformations where it was their year-long weight loss journey, and this girl, she's just amazing. She's awesome. She lost 200 pounds. Looks super fit. She could kick my ass every day of the week. And just great. And so people are commenting and whatever. And I typically stay out of conversations. I'm kind of a lurker. And so I happen to be on the page, reading the comments, and I back away, and I see in the corner of my eye a tiny little figure in the lower right corner. And I'm like, is that a Lego? And I flipped past it so quick. I was like, what was that? Is that another one of these little goofy things? I was like, so I went back, and sure enough, it's a little Lego dude. And I'm like, what the hell is that? So I click on it, and in the stream of, hey, congratulations, Anna, you look great, awesome work, all this, I throw in a reaction gif of a Lego caveman spinning into a Lego top hat, and I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, it looked like I have no clue what I'm doing. You know, that my reaction gif to your congratulations is dancing Lego guy. So easy enough, I delete it. You know, that was not a big deal. I figured out how to do that. Hopefully no one saw it, but it was just dumb.
Wait a minute. So you're telling me that there was like an overlay on top of the picture of the little Lego guy? Is that what's happening?
It was at the bottom next to the message. So it was on my phone, and so at the bottom next to the message, right where like the send icon, you know, the little paper airplane would be, like to send your message. Right next to that was this tiny little Lego dude.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. So like down there where you can select if you want a smiley face or a GIF or something like that.
Exactly.
I see what you're saying. Oh,
exactly.
Well, that was an amateur move.
So I sent Lego guy. Okay, if I deleted him, fine. It was dumb, but that's just the beginning of it. Here is the more egregious thing that happened. So my dad's aunt, she was not doing well. She was failing in health, and my dad just wanted to keep us abreast of kind of what's going on. And she lives out on the East Coast. I've probably met her. If it's the aunt I'm thinking of, I haven't seen her in 25 years. It's maybe met her like 6 times in my life. But my dad and all his cousins from that side, and the cousins I've never met, they all go way back. And so he threw me on this messenger chain just to keep us abreast of what's happening. Well, she ended up passing away last weekend, and it's one of these relationships where it's like, I don't know these cousins at all, so like even like expressing condolences is weird because it's like I'm sorry for your loss, our loss. Like you don't have no idea who I am, so I just kind of stayed out of it. I'm like, this is just weird. Anyway, I got a message during one of the days that it was all the funeral stuff. It came up and big long post. Hey, these were the arrangements are happening, all this stuff, and it's out on the East Coast. So of course I can't make it. That's way too much of a hike. And so I'm scrolling through on my phone, and my finger slips, and I send a reaction. The reaction is angry face. So like all it says is Brandon Fream, angry face at literally the address of the funeral home. Like,
no.
And now I don't know how to get rid of this stupid reaction. Like I am like, immediately I go into cold sweats. I'm like, oh my God, this entire chain of extended family who have no idea who I am just think, who is this jerk who's like, I don't even know him, and he's just angry at the fact that he like it's in Jersey or whatever where this funeral. I'm like, for like 30 minutes, I'm freaking out, and finally, I just give up. I'm like, I'm so sorry for your that was a misfire on the reaction. I'm terribly sorry. Sorry for your loss. I wish we could be there. Blah blah blah. Finally, I actually have to Google how to take that stupid reaction thing off. But oh my God, recent events aside, like that is a perfectly good reason for me to get off of Facebook, just because it's just a disaster.
Fream, are you sure that you should have administrative access on your computer? It sounds like maybe these machines are these new tiny computer
this was
machines.
On my phone.
I'm the one who got older this week, but Fream, I don't know, you're slipping, dude.
I am slipping. My phone, and it's got this weird there, right where the swipe pad, the keyboard would be, there is a dead spot, like a really tiny crack, and so like it sometimes will register a finger press, so like or break when I'm typing, and so like I need a new phone real bad, but I can't, there's the deals now, they just all suck, because it's like, hey, you should lease this phone for, 2 years. And by the way, if it's at all broken at the end of that, you owe us $200. And it's like, man, screw you. Like, I have never had a phone survive 2 years. Like, Anyway, so that aside, okay, let's talk community first. The Z to Z Game of the Month suggestion box is now open. This was great. In the Discord chat, there's a channel where we talk about Game of the Month. It's the general Game of the Month page, and on there is if you go to the top, there's a pinned message, and it's the Game of the Month mega board. And so what we're doing here is kind of having an open forum for people to throw games out there that they want to play as part of the Game of the Month. And so, looking at how popular they are and what, people's reactions to them are, we can kind of bring some to the top and throw them into one of our votes. And so between this mega list, our staff pick, and a Patreon pick, we'll come up with May's Game of the Month, June's Game of the Month, July's Game of the Month.
Now, I just want to make a little bit of a caveat here for people who are unaware. This is a public document.
Oh, yeah.
So just be aware of that. So you may see some things on there that are attributed to certain people who would certainly never suggest certain games for certain games of the month. Destiny. Just saying, there are people in there that are a couple of clowns. They're having some fun. But just because something is in there does not make it a serious suggestion, is all I'm saying. So just take it with a grain of salt.
So, like Proulx said, too, it is an open document. So, shenanigans can happen, but I think as a community, we're pretty good about being respectful. We're pretty good about, putting up things. Because these are actually games that we are interested in playing. So, at some point, yes, Destiny's not going to rise to the top, but a game like Little Nightmares has a lot of traction right now. And a lot of people want to play A Way Out or a Celeste. But they're a little pricey right now. So, knowing that they're on this list, then we can kind of keep an eye out for a sale. And if that sale hits, we say, hey, here's a great opportunity. A lot of people want to play Celeste, and it's only $10 right now. It's 50% off. Let's make that Game of the Month. Here's an opportunity. Our community can get in on a sale. So if there's games out there that you guys are interested in, like things that just came out, like Monster Hunter, that might be a fun game to play as a community. But I'm not, we're not all going to pay $60 to play that. Now, maybe 20, maybe for free. I don't know. But, I think that's probably going to be too much of an ask. Whereas, like, Sea of Thieves worked out because for $10 in the Games Pass, it was kind of worked out. We just want to be able to open it up to more people. So, if you head over to Discord, discord.io/Z2Z, find the pin for the Game of the Month, and go ahead, add some suggestions if you want to get involved. Of course, I stream Sunday nights, 10 p.m. to midnight, but Proulx, I know you've been doing a little bit of action, and the rest of the community. I just saw Kingsman go on a boat ride with Fufu and Chin, and did Fug get on that boat? I don't know. There's some fun videos floating around. Oh no, he wasn't there. It was a guy a random that they threw in the brig right away.
Oh, I believe the story was that was
he wanted to.
It was his friend. It was Fufu's friend.
Yeah.
Like real life friend, not a fake friend. So
brilliant. Okay, so there's that. The other thing is we've got our game mashup. Man, there's just a ton going on. All right, game mashup. If you don't know what this is where I take two games and I mash them together through a common word in the middle. So I'll tell you what week 16 was, and then you'll get the idea, right? So week 16, the clue was: the week features a couple of frantic indie darlings meeting for a highly stylized arena battle and a 3D hack and slash. There are tons of customizable options for these ninja robots. The game features a ninja with a lovely computer head stringing combos of cuts through a swath of mechanized minions. So if you haven't played these games, you have no clue.
Yep.
But if it immediately can think of one of them with the computer robot head, that would be Heart and Slash, which you would combine with Slash Dash to make the answer Heart and Slash Dash. So you get that. That's how you combine them together. Let me give you week 17. This is the ultimate survival game. Set in the frigid Canadian wilderness of Lordran, this game recently left the game preview program to much critical acclaim. The game demands a great deal of respect regarding the survival aspects. Bonfires play a huge role in saving and generating much-needed warmth for cooking. Death is permanent, and not only do you lose your humanity, but your saved game is deleted as well. Punishing is the key word in this mock-up franchise. So that is a 2 games mashed together. Good luck on that. And if you come look in the forums too, I do end up posting these usually on Fridays once I do the new write-up for this week's. But, sometimes I forget. Don't get mad at me. 2 more things, community-related, and then we'll talk about actual gaming and what we've been doing. But we had posted in Discord, MintReal B, ages ago, and I'm terrible at giving out codes, had given us a code for South Park: The Stick of Truth. And so I figured, what better way to do it than reward our friends who spend time with us in Discord.
Xbox One version, right?
The Xbox One version, that's correct. Yeah, he got it as a pre-order for when he ordered the Fractured But Whole. And so we had a bunch of people send me a private message saying they'd be interested in getting in, and out of all of those entries, the winner, random.org, chose Koosh Moose. Congratulations, Koosh Moose. Hey. So you are the winner.
Huzzah.
This is something that we'll end up doing every now and again, so if you guys are interested, come visit us in Discord. And, I will do the @here at everyone type thing to let you know that something's going on in terms of the announcements, but come hang out with us. The other thing we did last show was mention that we wanted people to retweet with the hashtag Manual Samuel, and even though X-Tower spelt Manual Samuel wrong, I'm going to include him in this list of people who can win. We had 6 people retweet it, and the winner, Rusty Old Tunes. So he gets his Manual Samuel code. Thank you to the developers for letting us play their game and sending a code our way. Hopefully you enjoy that game as much as the rest of the community did. I use enjoy loosely in that sense. Okay, gaming. Let's talk about it. Let's talk with Birthday Boy Dave. What have you been up to? What kind of game have you been playing this most recently? Anything fun?
Well, this week I dropped out of GTA SC Individual, just barely. So
yes, you did. Did you even know you were 10 away?
Not until the very end. Nope.
That sucks. Yeah, you were right there.
Yep. That morning I jumped on, tried to get a few extra achievements. My wife had off on Wednesday, so usually I can get some gaming time in the morning just to see where I'm at and catch up.
Right.
And I don't want to use too many points because I was trying to stay in as long as possible, but so I literally popped on Madden NFL 15 and did the legacy where you can just kind of let it run in the background and simulate the 10 years, and eventually you get all of those achievements all at once. And I thought, okay, that should be enough to get me through. And finished getting the kids ready, leave the house, and then people start sending messages. Hey, do you know where you are? Hey, you're really close. You're really close. I look, I'm like, all right, I got 18 points and about 5 minutes to go. It depends on who's playing. People under you might not be playing right now, and you might be okay. And no, that wasn't enough.
Bummer.
So 10 measly points. The only thing I did realize was that during the week I had played Refunked for the second time to try to do the 100% because for some reason I missed a couple blocks when I was playing that initially. And I got the 100%, and I thought, okay, that was added into my points. The achievement never popped.
Oh, no.
Not sure why. That definitely would have been a savior,
man.
And I would still be in it. But regardless, it's 10 points, and I should do better than that to be in it. So
that stings, though. That stings.
It does. But I made it past April. I didn't make it anywhere near that last time, or into April, I should say. So other than that, because of leading up to that, trying to get as many points as possible, I did play some Pool Nation FX. A lot of high TA points there because it was free and people didn't play it or played it once or twice and then just said, okay, this is going to be too much to finish. So
I'm in that boat.
Yep. So there's plenty of points there to grab, and there's quite a few that are actually quite easy. So I did quite a bit in that. Goat Simulator, bought that a while ago, never did anything with it. So I said, let me try to grab some points there, and started that game up, got a few of the quick, easy ones, and then moved on to the next thing.
Yeah.
Other than that, once I was eliminated a couple days ago, I focused on getting the TA birthday contest finished up. Got my last 5 achievements in that this week, so that is fully complete. The Happy Birthday True Achievements.
Nice.
Everything said and done. And when I did that, I decided at this point I'm going to go back. I this week hit officially 4,000 total achievements unlocked, which I know isn't a lot for a lot of people, but I'm still under 100,000 points, so
yeah,
I think that's pretty good.
Are you going to hit your 100,000 this year?
I am going to hit my 100,000. Yeah, I'm really focusing on that because I'm already at 92,000 and I was only at 84 at the beginning of the year. So
yeah,
pushing it.
Pushing it. So with that, I'm trying to also get some of my completions done because I got a lot out there that's just 1 achievement done, 3 achievements done, or hey, I've only got 3 left. Let's get these things done. So when I was going through the last of the birthday contest, I did pull up things like Call of Duty Ghosts, grab some achievements in there. Rayman Jungle Run, picked up a few things there.
Sure.
What was the one?
What's your completion percentage at? Is it as decimated as mine is?
Right now, let's see, 32.5%.
Okay, yeah, so that is pretty bad.
That's pretty
bad. Low. And, it is what it is. When you just tank a bunch of games on your card, that's not good or bad. It's just what it is.
Yep. So finished up. Got a couple more achievements in Rocket League because there's a bunch sitting there for me to do, and it's a fun game. I just didn't dive it too far. So, and then also grabbed a couple achievements in Speedrunners, which I should be able to finish that up pretty soon as well. So that's what I've been doing this week.
Nice, awesome. Proulx, what have you been up to?
Yeah, I wish I had more achievements to get in Rocket League, man. Oh, I'm so jealous.
Soon, maybe, right?
Nah, I don't. No, well, we'll see. I'm not sure. So I hit a milestone this week as well.
Oh yeah, what's that?
I hit my 300,000.
Nice work.
So huzzah!
Did you hit it on the nose?
No, I don't care about that.
Like a chump, huh? Gosh.
I don't care about that. I mean, my score has been uneven for ever. I mean, forever.
But that's why you even it out for the milestones.
No,
just for funsies.
I'm more worried about getting more points than fiddling with tiny bits of points for silly reasons. So
is there a milestone that you will do that at?
That's
314. What 256? I don't remember what the rest of pi is.
No, I don't think I care enough. I mean, if I ever got to 1 million, I guess maybe, but even then, I just don't care. Like, it's like,
shut up. There's no way.
It's just like as soon as
if you didn't hit 1 million on the nose, man, I would drive out to Virginia and punch you in the stomach.
What does it matter? Like, you get it, and then like you do like all this planning. You take 6 extra hours to get to the achievements that have the odd points that you need. Whatever, you do all this plan, or you get 20 points over it, and you still hit the milestone, and you're fine.
It's because you take pride in what you do. It's your hobby. Take pride in it.
I do, but it doesn't mean
so curate it. Put some thought into these milestones.
See, that's what it is. It's the difference between a filthy curator and a purist here. I get the points I get. You
literally can just look up what you need on TA. It's not even that you're curating. You're just literally hand-picking an achievement.
You have a bit of a bias towards 0s and 5s, my friend. I think.
Do you celebrate with your significant other? Do you celebrate an anniversary?
Roughly, I say like we're like 4 years ish, and then we go out to dinner and then we call it.
Why do you do that? What's the point?
But I said
it's just a random day. It's just no reason. What's the point?
I told you we don't celebrate on the exact day. We don't feel like that's necessary. But right around that time, we're good. I don't even know Fream. I don't even know my birthday.
I was gonna say, do you celebrate a birthday, jackass?
So no, to answer your question, I did not, in fact, land on 300,000. I don't even know what game did it for me or what point value I passed it on. Because I don't know. Whatever. Whatever. Who cares? I don't care. I guess you care. I shouldn't say who cares. You clearly care. You're very upset about this.
I definitely care. What I like to do, and these are my favorites, is you hit the 9s and then you hit a 1-pointer. So you get both cards. I did that with 99,999, and then a hundo, and then I did that with 199 and 2 hundo.
It just sounds like more headache, like way more effort to go to something when I can just get an extra 15 points and not have to worry about it.
But that's what's fun about it.
And then I can start working towards the next milestone.
It's a challenge. It's
way sooner.
It's adding a level of intricacy and challenge to your hobby.
I guess. But anyways, that was my milestone, and I hit
That's
it my way.
That's a great milestone, by the way. Not to belittle your...
Yeah, no, not to belittle me after 10 minutes of belittling me, but no, I get it. I hit that, which was exciting. Played a few games this week. Obviously, as you're aware, we got the new random to-do lists.
Yes, we did.
Tuesday? I can't... Sundays? What I didn't remember.
Easter Sunday.
Yeah, it was Sunday, yeah. So I did a couple of those. I've been trying to do at least one a day if I can. So I got to play some Halo 5 for it. Yay. I got to play some Mass Effect Andromeda, which is the only Mass Effect game I don't have completed yet. Got to play some Pac-Man Championship. Not the good one, which is Championship DX. But Championship, which is brutal and tough, and I hate that game. But I got the achievement I needed. I also played some Graw. So Randy's not here, but...
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah. It was like the second level. For beating the second level. And there's cheats in that game, which I didn't know.
The cheats don't disable achievements, right?
Exactly. So I was like, I didn't realize there were cheats at first. So I was just like, I'll just beat this mission real quick. And that game is terrible. Like, it's real bad. Like, I don't know if it was good at the time, but it's so slow and clunky now. It feels dated.
Yeah.
But so I was dying a lot and stuff. And it was one of those things, like when you try to jump out, like I haven't played that game since it first came out. And when you try to jump back into a game, 9 years, 10 years after the fact, you have no idea what the heck the mechanics are or the controls. And I'm pretty sure it's more squad based than I was kind of playing through the level.
Sure.
And all my dudes kept dying, and I'm like, whatever, I don't care. I just need to beat this stupid mission. That didn't work. It did not work for me. So, but then I activated the invincibility cheat, just ran through the level. But man, that game has not aged well. I don't know if I liked it in the beginning. I don't remember, but it's so floaty and weird. I don't know. It's really strange. Randy's not here to defend it, but it's just.
I'm not even sure he will, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how he actually feels about the quality of the game, but it was strange. Anyways, so that's some of the random to-do list stuff I've done. I actually completed quite a few games this week. So I finished Wanted. Finally, I've been talking about that for the past few weeks. I got all the collectibles and got that done. So that's done. I finished out A Way Out, which we talked about for a good chunk of time last week.
Oh, yeah.
We just so I played the final chapter, and I'm not going to say any spoilers or anything like that.
Was it good?
Yes, it was, and it threw a twist. I knew what was coming, but not in how it happened.
Sure.
So, and it was pretty clever, I'd say. It was pretty clever.
Yosef Ferez just tweeted that he's starting work on his brand new game, and he's super excited that he can't wait to share it with us. So I like this guy, and he when you say clever, like is it something that you really haven't experienced? Something unique? Or
no.
Is it okay?
It's half clever, half. I don't know what I would use to describe it. Like almost like, okay, I can see now. I can see where they were going with it.
Sure. I'm interested. I can't wait to play it myself and experience it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I won't give anything away or anything like that. But it was worth it to kind of play through to the end. I'd say. I didn't feel a compelling need to play the other way. Obviously there's two endings. I don't feel a compelling need to look that up or anything. You kind of get the gist. It kind of makes it clear how it's going to work. But anyways, I'll stop talking about the ending. But so we went back and cleaned up the the last achievement, which was actually the first achievement in the game. This was before me and my friend had looked up the guide.
Oh, sure.
And so the first achievement, you have to you start the game and you're in a prison yard and all this stuff. This is not spoilers. Right in the beginning of the game, and you don't even have to do any of this stuff. So there's a workout thing where you're doing what are they called?
Bench press.
Nope. It's where it's kind of
curls.
No.
Squats.
There's a bar in front of you about waist height, and you push yourself off of it and then down.
Dips.
What did you say?
Dips.
Dips. Yes, thank you. So you're doing dips, and my friend who I was playing with, you have to beat the prison yard record of 20 dips or whatever it is like that. And it's a pretty simple mini game. You just kind of have to mash A as fast as you possibly can. Well, you have to do 20, and they get increasingly harder every dip. So, he does 1 through 10 fine, and starts to slow down a little bit. And it's a really aggressive bar if you're not tapping it as inhumanely fast as possible, it'll beat you. You'll just lose a bunch of progress if you need to take a break, or you just start to cramp up.
Yeah.
Well, by that 20th dip, man, I was crying. I was laughing so hard because he was
just
dying.
Struggling.
He couldn't. He's like, this is the hardest achievement I've ever worked for. That last dip probably took 2 minutes of him just
wailing on that button.
Oh man, that was
hilarious.
That was so much fun, that achievement. And here I am, I just sit here and he does it, and then I get the achievement. So I was like, oh man, that was a pretty easy achievement. But
that's great.
That was a lot of fun.
We did so in real life working out. There was at my gym at birthdays, you do some type of exercise, however many years that person has lived. And it just so happened to fall on the day that everybody tested out. And so all of the new members, right, they were done with their little session. And so they had done their push-ups for a minute and their sit-ups for a minute and all their measurements and stretching and stuff. And at the end of it, he's like, hey, I feel like since you guys did all yours, we should have all the instructors and everyone else do my birthday push-ups. And we're like, yeah, that's funny, Glenn, whatever. Fine, let's do them, whatever. He goes, I'm 57. I'm like, oh my God, are you kidding me? I made it, so I got 30-some in, and I'm just cranking them out. I got to go fast, because if I'm going to look real bad in front of all these people when I fail miserably. And up in the 40s, I'm down to my knees, I'm just passing out. But that's what I envisioned when you're saying just wailing on that button as fast as you can, trying to just survive.
Yeah, it looked tough. I mean, it was a lot of effort that he gave for that achievement. So that was a lot of fun. And then I started and completed 2 games this week. North,
yes,
which is
not great, I hear.
It is not great, and it is so bizarre, and I don't know how you would do anything in that game if you did not have a guide. I literally just followed the guide and beat the game, and I don't even know what to tell you about it. It's
pretty short, right?
I think the guide was 35 minutes or something like that.
Oh gosh, yeah, super short.
So very short and very easy, but there's these aliens that are standing around, and you have to go to an immigration office.
Sure.
I think you're trying to immigrate somewhere, and
is this Men in Black?
And no. And then, but you go to the church and you convert to alien religion, and then you go to the doctor and you get an alien doctor's note. It's really bizarre, really, really bizarre stuff.
Sounds like an old Sierra game, where they just kind of do wacky things. Is it point and click? What's the interface? It's
it's a first person game.
Okay.
Where you just literally walk around and, hit a button to interact with objects.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it point and click.
Is it a walking simulator?
I guess that would be the closest thing that it would. Yeah, I guess that's probably what it is. Yeah, a walking sim. But it's just so bizarre. It's so weird. I don't know. I don't know anything about that game, and I'm okay with never playing it again. But and then the other game that I completed was Assemblance, which was also very, very quick. Which was also, I guess you call it a walking sim / kind of. No, I'd say just a walking sim where you kind of spend your entire game in 3 or 4 different rooms, and you can just kind of you go through a time loop or some sort of dimensional loop. And anyways, I don't know. These 2 games they were super easy. And, yeah, very strange games, but I just needed some points, so got them and they were done. So, and one other game I played this week, but I'm not going to talk about that until a little bit later.
Oh, okay. Sounds good.
Yeah,
hey,
teasing.
Let's see. Boy. I totally apologize for anyone who had to deal with my TA feed recently, because I mentioned in the Discord chat that I made really good friends with. Okay, really good is probably a strong word, but I became acquaintances with my IT department. So with my laptop, I only had user access. They're doing this new policy, and so my 6-year-old laptop got retired. And now I got a brand new one, but they said, look, moving forward, everyone just has user access. They don't have any user access. All they have is a login to the server, and it's just kind of a portal. So you just can't do anything. So I kept getting all these, Windows updates, and it's like, hey, I can't apply the update because I need access to the hard drive. So I finally had to call the help desk, and they did what they could, and they didn't go away. So he's like, all right, look, we'll have our on-site tech take care of it. So he calls me up, and I go down to his office. I ended up spending like an hour and a half down there, and he runs the update, and then sure enough, backlog. There's another update. Got to download that. Then another one. I mean, we probably ended up going through 6 updates, and we were doing some disk checking. We are just doing all sorts of things. And so while we're down there, we're talking all sorts of stuff. Like, and I mentioned this in my game chat the other night. Like, he was telling me about this rig that he just bought, awesome monitor, bought some brand new 1070s. He's got like probably a $3,000 rig. Like, he's got, a nice gaming PC set up. And he's explaining to me, like, man, yeah, I had some buddies who were telling me about this game. It's like, it's this third-person shooter. It's like a military shooter. And there's like this like circle that kind of I'm like, PUBG? Yeah, that sounds a lot like it. I'm like, how do you have this much money in a gaming system yet you don't know what PUBG is? Like, it blows my mind. But anyway, we get to talking, and we're just whatever, shooting the breeze, and he gets to the point, he's like, look, all right, there's some sort of bug in your credentials, and look, I'm just going to give you user access. Like, this is stupid. You clearly know your way around a computer. So anyway, now that I have user access, I have found the glory that is Microsoft Windows games. I say glory very loosely.
Yeah, but that's quite the word to use to describe those games.
That is Gamerscore that I can earn at work. That is probably the most important thing. And so it's now knowing that I'm already into April and I can't get the full, I can't do the marathon ones where you have to do all the daily challenges in a month. But I need to get my bronzes going. I need to get my silvers going. Maybe I'll wait on my silvers, but at least get my bronzes for this month. Start the timer. I'm not changing clocks.
No, you can play older challenges.
Does that count?
Yeah.
And get medals for those?
Yeah, you just go back to the
because it doesn't
calendar.
count on the phone.
I did it on the phone, and it worked just fine for me.
Mine didn't work for solitaire. I didn't count for going back months.
No. You can't. If you're in April, you can go.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, right, but I have to do the 30-day. Like the marathon is complete. Sign in every day of the month and do at least one daily challenge for them. Yep. So it's like I might as well just start fresh in May, May 1st, and go through the month to get all those.
Okay.
Because I need to do the full month anyway. That'll get me my diamond. That'll get me all that I need for that. But I need to get the bronze for this month. So I started popping a bunch of those. But because I still have an active bean dive, like it keeps saying these are all new games to my bean dive because it's, whatever the TA feed bug is. And so it's just flooding people's screens with this garbage. So I apologize for that, but no, I'm not getting any work done. Well, I am getting work done, and then I'm doing this on the side, but the achievements are so easy at the beginning. It's like complete one daily challenge. Just do stupid things. It's like they're just giving me points. That being said, I didn't do a lot of other stuff because I had finished Hugh last week and Manuel Samuel, and that gave me a really nice ratio going into Tuesday night. And I only needed a 2.6, but in order to get that, like I was at like a 2.49 going in, and I was like, oh boy, okay, I need just a little bit more Gamerscore to, I should be okay from a TA standpoint to stay alive in the individual, but I don't have my ratio. Okay, so what am I going to do? Well, I went to threes, and inside there's an awesome threes solver. And it's got a really great interface. At least it's a helpful interface to kind of help show you where it is. That being said, when you do like 80 to 100 moves through that thing, like you start to get fatigue and you're like, okay, did I swipe yet? Crap. Where am I? What's happening? And I had to like reset the board like 4 or 5 times as it's getting to like midnight. Anyway, I unlocked Terrence. That was a 99-point achievement, and it was like 500 Gamerscore. So that locked down my ratio for the GTA SC, which was great. Unfortunately, like Doughboy, it was not enough to save my team. So Kahuna Matata, it means Fream Worries, goes down. I just couldn't keep the team alive. But individual, I'm still there, so that's pretty great. And then I just got my regular boosts. A little Diablo in Battleborn on Wednesdays. We're now doing this focused Battleborn sessions where everybody gets one round to pick whatever they want. And so, like, I picked one character. I ended up blasting through a bunch of his lore stuff, and I think this is really going to help churn this game out. And I'm excited to make some serious progress in that. We also, and Doughboy was there, played some PvZ last night, doing what we normally do, play an hour or so because. Mattism, all he needs is Vampire Superwave. We all still need Vampire Superwave, so that's kind of what we're going for right now. And while that happens, sometimes a Treasure Yeti shows up, and guess what? I got all them diamonds. Woo! I'm so pumped. Oh man, getting those diamonds, and I still don't have the diamonds on the 360 version. I have to still do that one, but. Got my diamonds for the Treasure Yeti. That was going to be my win of the week. I am excited to have that achievement done. No Vampire Superwave yet, though. That's and not even close. We had 2 Disco Stew Superwaves, which is hilarious. So Mantism says Disco Joe. He calls him like how do you not call him Disco Stew? He even looks like Disco Stew from The Simpsons. I don't know.
Disco Dan was the other one that he kept saying.
Disco Dan, or Dave, Disco Dave, because Crazy Dave.
Yeah.
I think he said too. But yeah, like where does this come from? The other thing I'll mention is I played Earthlock, Festival of Magic. Now, I don't know if I needed to or not. And by the time this comes out, you might know. I think it comes out on the 11th, or the new version of Earthlock. Does it come out on the 15th or 11th? I guess I don't remember. So if you're hearing this before the new version of Earthlock comes out, then if you have access to Earthlock, you will get the new version. What I don't know is whether or not those versions will stack. I assume there'll be 2 separate lists, kind of like Ori and the Definitive Edition, so that you have 2 separate lists. But I played it safe. I needed an E for the gamer tag of this month, so I just dived Earthlock. And hopefully now I can complete it on the baseline version and then do the upgraded version.
Presumably they wouldn't revoke access to the old version, right? At least that's what I'm hoping, because I have access to the old version.
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming is going to happen. But weirder things have they might just override it and then you lose access to it. I don't know.
Well, then that would be pretty sucky for you, because then you would only have 1 achievement in it, and then you never can get any more than that.
Well, it might be like a transfer, like kind of like what Minecraft did, because like if you sign into the new Minecraft, like you essentially transfer all your stuff out of the Xbox One version and the 360 version, and become the new Universal Minecraft. But those are all separate lists, and so if you still have access to the one version, you can still play that one.
Minecraft versions, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as you have the old one still.
Right. I'm assuming it's not going to be an issue. I'm just playing it safe.
Yeah, fair enough.
The only other thing I played, well, it's our game of the month, Sea of Thieves. We played it on Sunday night. Hopefully you guys got to watch the stream. If not, it is on YouTube. You head over to youtube.com/Z2Z. We have our game of the month playlist there. It was Kingsman, Cowboy Killer, and Shin Doctor, played by Chin Doctor. We got his alt account because he didn't want to put any of these achievements to wreck his ratio because he was doing that GTSC thing, which I think was a huge mistake because that meant he didn't care about going for achievements, which I've been told made the stream hilarious. And like, that's the thing. Okay, so we'll have a little bit of a Sea of Thieves discussion here because we also have some news on Sea of Thieves I'd like to get into as well. There was... because I have limited gaming time, right? Like, this Sea of Thieves is going to be a long grind of a game. Killing 500 captains, digging up 500 treasures, doing all the miles, collecting all, there's just a ton of stuff to do in that game. And hopefully maybe they will change some of the settings. I don't know. I doubt it, but it is what it is. So I like to, as relatively shallow as the game is in its current state, like I would definitely like to be making progress. And I think Kingsman and Cowboy Killer wanted to do that too. And Chin just wanted to have fun. And that's great, because like some of the things he was doing were hilarious. Like laying down in front of the boat, or like holding the map in front of my face to block my view. Like those were funny. And so, I had a good chuckle. Or like when he was standing in front of the compass and like I couldn't tell which direction the boat was going. Like those are all hilarious. But then, other times when it's like, I'm just gonna throw this treasure chest over the ocean. Like, that sucked. Like, we had to go back and swim. Now, it made for some funny stories, because Kingsman had to go out there, and then he got eaten by a shark, and then I had to go out there and try to outrun a shark. Well, and so things happen, emergent stories happened, but I wasn't in the mindset to be goofy and having fun. I was like in the mindset of like, let's get some achievements, get some stuff done. Now, that being said, the achievements weren't unlocking for me anyway. So I think they owe me 4 achievements. I haven't boosted it up or booted it up since.
So you have none so far still?
No. Well, I mean, I got the first 6 that I had going into it. I got 1 that night for voting on a voyage with a crew, but there were at least 4 others that I definitely met the requirements for, because other people were doing the same thing and getting it. And so that didn't happen. It was like, well, they're not hard. So it's not like I'm like, oh boy, I really did this amazing thing. It was like, well, it would have been nice if that popped, but I hope it's not preventing it from popping. Like, it's just either stuck and I'm getting it, or it wasn't online and I just have to redo it and it'll happen normally. Those would be the 2 best case scenarios. The worst case scenario is it's stuck and I can't redo the events because it already triggered it, but it's not going to count it. That would be the worst.
I got to tell you, I'm really unmotivated to go back to Sea of Thieves, because I played a few days when it first came out and still have 0 achievements in it. And you said we want to talk about it, but they're releasing some patches which have no mention of whether or not they're fixing the achievements up to this point. So, man, like, the achievements would at least get me back, like, kind of motivate me to get back into it.
Yeah.
Man, if they're still not unlocking, nah, man. Nope. I'm already still mad at that game. I am still mad at that game. So, I don't know. I think it's going to take a lot for me to get back into Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
I had a pretty terrible first go at Sea of Thieves, so I don't know.
I'm hearing it's improving and things are clicking right along. But the one thing, and if you haven't seen the video, it's pretty darn funny, because I'm just cruising. I happen to drive the boat. I like driving the boat, so it was not a big deal. I was on the thing, and all of a sudden a cannonball comes shooting off the side of the boat, and I was like, "Is that a human? What happened?" And I go, "No, okay, but it's just Chin Docked, and he's just launching all of my port cannons, just shooting them off into the sky." And Kingsman's like, "Dude, stop shooting our cannonballs. Like, what if we run into the Kraken?" Literally 3 minutes after he says that, the Kraken shows up. And I was just like, it's, relative panic. I got eaten by the thing. It was throwing me around the ocean, trying to drown me. Thankfully, the guys were able to take out the tentacle, and I was able to swim back to the boat. But, like, it was an intense little battle we had there. And then, of course, we ran out of cannonballs. It would have been awesome to have those last 4 cannonballs. But, from a timing perspective, it was funny where, boy, it'd be nice to have some, don't waste them because the Kraken might show up. And guess what? Kraken shows up. I am looking forward to go back. I'm looking forward to Sunday night here to be playing and enjoying it. Now, the things I want to talk about. So, the first is, I suppose it makes more sense to talk about what Rare's plans are for this game. So they have built this game differently than most traditional games. And the idea was to make it modular so that you can do more frequent, smaller additions to the game. You can test out features. You can do things kind of more on the fly versus large content patches that have to be merged with the main code. And so it lets you, them focus on doing some things that the community wants and to be a little bit quicker to react to it. They're calling it this continuous continuous delivery development method. And I'll post this this link here from Windows Central. They kind of outline how it's working, where you used to, essentially pull data, whatever the online game is, whatever the base game is, you pull off of that, develop your piece, and then find a way to merge it back onto the, so it's like all these off-ramps. You do your work and then merge it back in. But what that does is then it doesn't update with the rest of the code. So if other people are taking different pieces of it, you have to do all this iteration to make sure that when you merge things back, it goes to where it's supposed to. Whereas you're adding smaller components to the new features in multiple little pieces. So, for instance, the most recent patch to go out is trying to fix the ship spawning issue, where and I had talked about this in the first show, where I showed up, people found me, blew me up right away, and then I respawned, and like within a few minutes they found me again, just blew up my ship again. Because you kind of put you in the same general area. Well, now the idea is that when you respawn, your ship is going to be significantly further away than the ship that took you down. So you don't keep seeing the same griefing over and over again. That was feedback from the community saying, hey, this sucks. Like, I want to get going, and I can't, because the second I, show up and try to get my bearings, giant galleon comes flying in and blows me to smithereens. But that's not the only change that happened. So this patch that went through, the major change, the ship respawn distance is increased. The mermaid teleport is fixed, so people are actually like taking treasures with them through the mermaid. That doesn't happen anymore. And even, if you listen to some of the podcasts, like Craig Duncan was on, he did the rounds back in February, and I'm finally getting to him now. But he was just saying, like, the main focus right now is bug fixing. Like, the game, with the stress of all these people on there, like, the game is just falling apart. Like, so they need to get in there and make all these patches, these fixes, and clean things up. And one of those, under known issues, and these are things that, again, aren't addressed, but they are working on them. And the one that applies to us, achievements earned prior to March 29th are delayed, but will be awarded soon. So what does that mean? Does that mean you don't hold your breath because they know that they're not unlocking for people? Or does that mean that, like, this is in the background of the patch that went through, and that, yeah, okay, if you come back in, maybe they'll show up. I don't know. But
well, I hope so. I mean, man, if they're promising that all these things are going to be retroactive and then they're not, they're going to burn a lot of goodwill.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine, like, I didn't, I played 2 days of it, and I'd be upset if I didn't get those achievements. By the time this seems to be rolling out, who knows when it's going to be? Could be a month from now. If people are expecting all those things to happen and it doesn't work, that's going to be rough on your player base, I think, for sure.
Yeah. Nope, I agree. Doughboy, have you played Sea of Thieves at all? Have you hit the high seas?
I had part of the alpha back at the beginning, and then but I did play it day one because I saw that day one patch, the eye patch. I didn't know if that was going to be something they were literally putting out for day one and then pulling,
right,
or if they were going to leave it since they were having so many issues. So I played it for about probably an hour or two the first night that it came out. I was able to get in the server and actually play the game with a couple of friends. None of which had headsets, though, so it was kind of hard to figure out what was going on.
That's rough.
And,
for that
yeah. So I do want to hop in with our community at some point and play with people that are actually into communicating with each other. So
absolutely, yeah. that day one patch was still available for me on day 4. I don't know if it's a timed thing, but it cost me 1 gold piece, which I highly recommend getting because there is an achievement for buying an eye patch, buying a peg leg, buying a hook, buying you have to get all that stuff. So for 1 gold piece, I do believe that counts as an eye patch. So you should buy that. Everything else is like significantly more expensive, like thousands of dollars. So you got some work cut out for you to get that thing, but that is far from the more time-consuming achievements that you'll face. Okay, fine. So let's we'll sail away from Sea of Thieves. Yeah, you like that? And we'll talk about PAX East. Man, we got a lot of Zeds there. It's fun seeing the pictures from the community coming in on our Discord chat. So I think a confirmed attendees, we've got Randy is there, Spazpole, Planting, Saucy Slingo, Akaraba2, and Shabobble. Those are the people I know are there. I'm excited to hear from them, and hopefully we can have some kind of discussion next week about what they've seen, what they're playing. Did you guys see Saucy Slingo's stealth picture of Randy playing VR?
I don't know if I did.
So Randy's in a green hoodie, goofing around with the Oculus Rift, and Randy was rifting, and Saucy came up, videotaped him, and then left before Randy knew. So, and I'm not even sure if Randy doesn't even listen to this, he might not know that happened.
Oh, he'll be doing the editing this week, so he'll definitely be listening to this.
He's going to listen to the whole thing. So there you go, Randy. You have spy camera video of you rifting, which I thought was pretty darn funny. But anyway, it looks like, oh man, I want to go to one of these, just a PAX, an E3, of whatever. I want to go to a gaming convention. I mean, it's just a mass of humanity, but there's games there. Like those are my people.
Must be tough when you live in the middle of the country.
Middle of nowhere.
Where there's nothing going on, huh?
No. There's nothing.
There's no PAX Midwest, huh?
Where would you go?
I wouldn't. I mean, I could get to PAX. I'm not close to PAX East or anything like that. No. But I used to be closer, I should say.
Yeah.
To PAX.
But you're young and you'd gotten not a care in the world.
Exactly.
You could just up and go to Boston for funsies.
I could, and stop back home on the way there. It could make a good road trip out of it. It would be fun.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. Like with this community, like we definitely would have places to stay. Like if we, for instance, if you wanted to stay with some, I'm sure somebody would put me up at their place. I'm relatively easy to get along with, and you wouldn't really be spending that much time there anyway.
I don't know. It sounds dangerously close, like you're suggesting that some of our fake friends should become real friends, Fream.
Yeah.
And that
is dicey.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure I'm too comfortable with that idea.
I'm thinking, so my sister lives out in LA, pretty darn close to the convention center. So I could go to E3 and I could stay with her. Like I've lived with her before. She is my sister.
Yeah.
We've lived in the same house before. Now, so we'll see. It's one of those things where it's like, how do I convince my wife that spending that much money on a ticket to go see video games for an entire day and taking time off of work is worth it? I don't know. It's one of those bucket list things for me. I think it would be fun.
Yeah, I think maybe once.
Yeah,
I don't know about PAX, but E3 seems way too massive.
It does.
To be any sort of, maybe do it once. I can see how that would be interesting and exciting and fun. More than once would probably be stressful and terrifying and miserable. So PAX is a little more
approachable.
It feels a little more approachable. Especially if you got a community of people that are going to go with you, That's what it's about. The social element too is a lot of fun.
Yeah, meeting up. It looked like they were having, a good picture with those North New Englanders up there. Doughboy, have you ever been to a convention? One of the big ones,
Not
I suppose?
Any of the big ones. I am going to go to a couple this year. Being on the Philadelphia Guild for Extra Life, we get to go to a lot of these events and set up tables and tell people about Extra Life and stuff like that.
Right.
So they did Wizard World last year in Philadelphia. I was going to say, you're not too far from me. You could definitely head up this way. There's quite a few conventions that they put up in here. And actually, PAX came to Philadelphia last year at the end of the year and did a PAX Unplugged, which was all board games and card games and things like that.
Oh, that would be sweet.
And they still had a setup for video games and things that were connected to TVs and such.
Sure.
So, and I know they're going to make that a little bit bigger this next coming year. And then there's also the crew that does the San Diego Comic-Con is setting up a new convention in Philadelphia as well. And that is this year. They have announced it. They've already invited us to set up a table there. So I know that's another big one that's going to be coming to the Philadelphia area. Smaller ones that I've been to, and it is kind of a bigger one, is Too Many Games. That one is held like 25 minutes away from me in Oaks, PA. That's the Greater Philadelphia Convention Center, which is about 25 minutes outside of Philadelphia. So it's not quite in it, which is nice because it's a lot less traffic out this way. Plenty of room for everybody to come out, and there's quite a few vendors that come out for that. A lot of the guys like Angry Video Game Nerd, Pat the NES comes up. A lot of the history guys come up. So there's quite a few things that they do up in this area that I go to frequently that way.
Sure.
Speaking of conventions, this is a little anecdotal, kind of off topic, but it's related. This past weekend, I went into DC proper and was traveling on the Metro, and you see some colorful characters there from time to time, but there were people dressed up as Doctor Who, and I actually saw a guy on the Metro. I turned around and full Fallout suit. He's got the whole jumpsuit, the Pip-Boy, and everything. And I'm like, what is going on? And it dawned on me that Awesome Con was in DC last weekend. So, more of a general nerd kind of convention. But man, those things, I didn't get to go this year. I thought about it, but it was kind of expensive, and there's not a lot there that I wanted to see. But man, there's so much fun. I went to a Star Trek convention, believe it or not, Fream.
Oh yeah,
2 years ago now, and so much fun. So much fun. So,
you're into that stuff?
That was the only one I've ever been to. So, I know, yeah, believe it or not, I am into Star Trek. Yeah.
Did you cosplay?
I did not, but I went with my two co-hosts from the other show that I do.
Right.
And one of the other guys that I do the show with is a really massive Star Wars fan, as well as being a huge Star Trek fan. So he went as a stormtrooper. Okay. And he would have the reaction that he got was amazing. Everybody wanted to do photos with him, just to mix and match universes at that point. It was incredible because he's a 501ster, which I don't know if you know what that is, but it's the official. You have to build your own armor, and it's got to be regulation, blah blah blah. And he's actually an amazing cosplayer. He's built some incredible stuff. But
when you say to regulation, do they measure that? There's somebody who comes out and says oh no, yeah, your shoulder pads are too broad. I'm gonna have to. You have to. There's a degree of accuracy that you have to have with what the actual quote unquote uniform is supposed to be. Yeah.
There's a certain standard by which you have to kind of measure up. Anyway, we were all there, and he went as the stormtrooper, and it was incredible the response that we got. It was just a lot of fun to go to those sorts of things, and I imagine going to the smaller conventions is not that PAX is a small convention, but that's what we're talking about.
Right.
Is kind of more interesting and probably more appealing as well. Like you said, E3 is just a mass of people, bazillions of people.
I think you'd get a bit more access to the developers or the people you want to see and visit in the games. You just don't have to deal with as much humans.
Exactly. Yeah, but they're fun. It's a fun experience. Not something you want to do every weekend. It's draining and exhausting, but it's interesting and unique and a lot of fun.
I got a question for you regarding Star Trek conventions.
Sure.
Give me a breakdown of the top 4 cosplays in terms of percentages.
The top 4, are you by volume?
What do people go as?
Oh man,
what's the number 1? The most common cosplay in Star Trek that you see at a convention.
Oh,
Red
well, that's
shirt.
easy. Yeah, it would just be a generic Starfleet officer.
Is it literally a red shirt? Because I was thinking red shirts, like as a joke, right? Like, hey, we're all ensigns or whatever.
Well, if you're a real Star Trek fan, you know the red shirt is kind of a bit of an exaggeration, anyways.
What do you mean exaggeration?
It's a trope.
So like, do you look? By doing that, ironically, you then look down on them for like no, that's too easy.
No, what I'm saying is that if you're going to a Star Trek convention, and you're a Star Trek fan, you're not going as a red shirt, quote unquote red shirt. You may be going as someone who wears a red uniform, but you're not going as a quote unquote red shirt as it's known in popular media. A red shirt, of course, being somebody who beams down to the planet and dies immediately.
Right.
Yeah, that happens like in 3 episodes. This is what I'm saying. It's more exaggerated than as.
No way. Really? That's it?
No, I'm also under exaggerating it. But like, there was a breakdown a few years ago where they die basically at the same rate as the other 2 division colors do.
Okay.
So it's not actually, it's a way to. It is kind of slight trope. It's kind of a convention that Star Trek uses, but it's not as overblown as it seems.
Is it? Okay. That's funny because I was completely under the impression that like literally it was like wearing like the target bullseye on you.
Yeah. So there's the famous joke, right, about.
Well, they did it in Galaxy Quest with
yes.
Sam Rockwell's character.
Guy? I didn't even have a name. Oh, man, Galaxy Quest is great.
It is fantastic.
Yeah, they also have a joke in Family Guy. Yeah, there's jokes all over. So the big joke, of course, between Star Wars and Star Trek fans is who would win in a fight between...
The Stormtrooper. That's why when you said Stormtrooper, I thought red shirt.
Yeah, Stormtrooper and a red shirt. And the joke goes, the Stormtrooper would shoot a bunch but not hit the red shirt, but then the red shirt would die anyways.
Right.
Right. Yeah, right. So same sort of thing. Anyways, to answer your question, the most common Star Trek costume at a Star Trek convention is just generic Starfleet uniform, where you're not going...
you're not a dude or a person, you just happen to be part of the fleet.
Exactly. Yeah, you're just going... Maybe you have your own...
So you would go as Dan Proulx... member of the Starship Enterprise.
Lieutenant Proulx, right, exactly.
Sorry, Lieutenant, I didn't realize you got promoted.
Well, you didn't give me a rank in the first place, so I had to give myself something. A lot of people just wear the uniforms. Can
you get to Sergeant, or is it Fleet Admiral? What's your next step?
From Lieutenant?
Yeah.
That would be Lieutenant Commander. Obviously.
Okay. Have you been working toward? Do you need to put more flight hours in?
No, I'm clearly a captain, but I was just giving an example there. So, people are complaining we're not talking about achievements, and believe me, I'm more than happy to talk some more Star Trek, but maybe we should move on from here.
Fine. Let's talk about. Let's talk about microtransactions. That's what people want to hear about.
Oh, okay, let's do it.
Yeah, people love them. Middle Earth: Shadow of War, the sequel to Shadow of Mordor. Hugely attacked for a single-player game containing microtransactions, saying, what the hell, Monolith? Seriously? Now, of course, Battlefront 2 came out and said, Shadow of War, hold my beer. I'll show you how microtransactions are really done. And so people largely forgot about this. And really, you didn't have to spend any money anyway, but... Monolith has decided, or Warner Brothers, I guess, has decided to take all of the microtransactions out of the game. So while this sounds fantastic, right, it's definitely a step in the right direction because nobody wanted them there in the first place, there is some achievement implications. Now, not to say that it's going to discontinue anything or cause any problems in that regard. No, everything should still be fine and unlockable. But... for those of you who were interested in possibly spending some real money to make your life a little easier, well, that's going to be off the table. So you used to be able to buy orcs and things through the in-game, purchases, and those guys would help you for your raiding and your fortress battles and stuff like that, and you would be able to kind of rank up a little bit faster and get your achievements quicker. So on, I think it's May 8th? May 8th, you will no longer be able to buy gold using real money. And if you have it, you have until July 17th to spend it. So...
I heard about this story and it struck me. What happens after that then? If I say I spent $50 on Mordor gold or whatever the heck Lord of the Rings currency is, and I didn't use it by the 17th, does that mean I'm out of that money? Are they going to refund me that money, or how does that work?
I mean, I think it goes away. I think because they're giving you ample opportunity to get rid of it, it's on you then.
I don't know.
If I have a gift card and the company goes out of business, like they don't owe me $20 for my gift card. I should have used it in the time that it was available.
I don't know. That feels fishy to me. I feel like there should be some sort of consumer protection on something like that. Because, like, what if Shadows of Mordor is, 6 months old at this point?
Yeah.
What if I haven't played the game and I don't pay attention and there's no way that they can notify me? How and then I boot the game up in October.
Well, you wouldn't have bought any gold then if
I bought it a week ago.
Yeah.
I don't know. That seems fishy. There seems like there should be I don't even know. I'm not sure if they said that they refunded or not, but it just seems like weird that even if you have the gold, you can no longer exchange it.
And they may have emailed you, right? Because you go through the WBID that likely is connected to your account.
Yeah, maybe.
And so they would, would let you know, hey, your opportunity to use this is going away. I mean, Happy Wars has got it up all over the place. I mean, they're not going to refund you.
It's a little different.
Likely. How is it different? It's
because Happy Wars
currency that's going away.
Happy Wars is going down. Like that game is closing.
The 360 version,
right?
Not the one version. So like they have all these things saying, hey, listen, if you don't transfer by April 15th, or whatever the date is, if you don't transfer your gold from the 360 to the one, you will lose it. Like that's on the opening screen, like kind of a news from Toy Logic. This is happening. And so at that point, I don't know. Yeah, well, I mean, I agree in principle. Like, yeah, it's kind of crappy that happens. Like, you have to have some accountability. Like, if you go and buy a gallon of milk, and on the milk it says it's going to expire in a week, and then you wait a week and you're like, oh, man, my milk expired. Well, I should go get a refund.
Well, that's different.
Like, that's on you.
That's different. When you buy...
It's not different.
Yes, it is. Because when I bought my Shadow of Mordor gold last week, it didn't tell me I had an expiration date. And now all of a sudden it does.
It is. It's saying that on May 8th.
No, now it is.
On July 17th.
If I bought it before...
Your milk expires.
If I bought it before this announcement, I would have had no reasonable expectation that would have been unusable in the next 6 months or whatever.
I think that's why they have such a gap between the time when you can buy gold and spend it. I mean, if it was like you can buy it on the 8th and then you have to spend it by the 9th, like that would be shady. But I think since they give you 60 days to get rid of it, I feel like that's an adequate amount of time to spend it.
Do you think EA has learned their lesson?
I do not.
Well, then why are they removing it from these two very high-profile games?
Well, this is Warner Brothers.
Oh, that's right. Okay, sorry.
But I think Warner Brothers realized, okay, my guess is they're not making any money.
I was gonna say, percentage of people that are actually going for it right now, it might be at the low that they're like, all right, now we're going to stop it, and I look like a good guy as far as we're getting rid of the microtransactions.
That's exactly what I think, and I think so. When you had said the effect of the achievements and how would you do this, like moving forward, Battleborn did this too, where each item it has both a gold value and a silver value. And the silver you can earn in-game by just doing things and grinding. It takes a ton of silver. Or you can bypass that and pay with gold. So what is it in Battleborn? It's like platinum and credits or something. But, you can say, okay, look, I'm sick of grinding out credits. Let me throw $20 at this and just get the platinums. And I can, use that as my microtransaction currency. So that's what they're taking out of the system. So that's why the achievements won't be, you'll still be able to get them and you'll still be able to unlock these characters. It's just going to take a lot longer to get access to anything in this store. And they might change the values. They might play around with some of these things, knowing that, now there's really no incentive for people to put money into the system because they can't. That you might have an opportunity then to cheapen the characters a little bit, make it more, let people be playing with them and having more fun in the game versus trying to grind out and, to put that much time into it. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll see if the economy changes at all, but I'm with you, Dave. I think that's exactly what they're doing. Hey, all right, we made our money, what we were going to make. Nobody's buying them anymore. And so let's take them out. We'll get some good press for a week. And, I look into next Tuesday or whenever this comes out, that this would be on sale. Well, it's been on sale a lot already. It's
cheap good press, though. I mean, if you think about it,
oh yeah,
waiting until 6 months afterwards so you have milked as much money as, it feels shallow. But that's fine.
If that's the case. I mean, are other people, because I was just looking at the TA, this was a TA article. I was just looking at the TA comments like, oh, this brings tears to my eyes. Thank you so much for listening. And I'm so excited that this is happening. This is wonderful. It's like, if you don't sit back and take a hard look at it and say, okay, well, they're doing this for a reason, and it could be multifaceted. And I think Dave hit it on the head. It's both they're not making any money anymore, and this is great free publicity. A lot of people, people in business don't tend to do things if it's not in their favor. Just like when, hey, Star Wars Battlefront 2, guys. Oh, man, we heard you loud and clear. We are going to take out the microtransactions for a little bit. We're going to take them out.
You say people in business don't do things that'll hurt them, but keep in mind that they said that after the game was released and was underperforming. So, no, it's not always clear what they should be doing beforehand.
Well, right. I mean, they made the decision thinking that it was going to be lucrative, and then they realized they made a wrong decision. I don't have to say they make wrong decisions. I'm going to say that they'll do what's in their mind in the best interest of the company. That you're still free to make a terrible choice, which they absolutely did. But yeah, anyway. Hey, there's some news that popped out. This is through xboxachievements.com or .org. Oh, it's .com. And it's another one of these Battle Royale knockoffs. And I was like, oh, I'll just see what this is, right? Crossout. Targem and Ganjin Entertainment, they have a Battle Royale mode for their game Crossout. And I was like, it's a free-to-play game? Turns out this game has been out for a while. It's a free... I've never heard of Crossout. Have you guys heard of Crossout before?
Nope.
Me neither. Proulx?
No idea. Never heard of it.
Yeah, came out in May of last year, so this thing's been a year old. It was a free game. It sounds like it was it's like a car, like you build cars and battle like a Mad Max style kind of World of Tanks type. It's like a World of Tanks meets Mad Max, I guess is how I would phrase it. The way it works is this Battle Royale mode it's very vehicle focused. You get 32 players on this new map that they have, and you have a tiny little buggy. No weapons, no equipment. And then the match starts, and you drive your buggy and try and find gear and build on your ship, build on your car, make it better, and then just be the last man standing in this car vehicular combat battle game. Okay, now knowing that this is a free game, it's been out for a year, I kind of want to check it out. The TA is massive on it, by the way. It's 1,000 gamer score. It's 4,000 TA. Likely because since it's free, there's going to be some huge grindy achievements like this one for successfully completing 500 raids. Some other ones. I don't know what a Leviathan raid is, but you got to do 10 of those. Destroy 3,000 enemies in PvE. Destroy 2,000 player vehicles. There is only 13 achievements. Not much here, but it's free.
You know what?
Does that do anything for you?
You know what other kind of game is that same Battle Royale sort of situation and has way more TA?
What's that?
Fortnite.
Have you played it yet?
No.
Wait.
No, it's actually you can only play the battle royale mode for free.
Right.
There's no achievements.
The rest of the game with the achievements you have to pay for. So, but it's actually I had no idea. Fortnite is sitting at 24,000 TA. So,
jeez Louise. Well, that hasn't. How many people are tracked?
Almost 35,000. No one has it completed.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. Yeah. But what are they tracking against?
Wow. So the most TA for an achievement is for completing 1,000 play with other missions. I don't know what that means. But that's 4,600 points for one achievement. So that's pretty wild.
I'm going to watch a video here on Crossout and see what the hell this game's all about. I'm really curious. Like, I mean, you know, I've never, again, it's weird that games can, like, just sneak out under the radar, you know, especially when you're in a gaming community, like, that absolutely values free things. Like, you typically give stuff a shot. And, yeah, somehow I had no idea this came out back in May. What was I doing back? It was I guess E3 last year. Is that why
June,
I missed
right?
it? We were so excited about the Xbox One X.
No, that's in June. E3's in June. You can't blame.
Well, this was May 30th.
May 30th. So yeah.
Oh, close
Getting
enough.
ready for it.
So yeah. So is it like all those announcements where we're just like, oh yeah, man, that's, you know, Xbox One X. That's all we're gonna talk about, and then this like sneaky little free to play game comes. I don't know.
It's game overloads, man. There's just too many games.
It could be, but not that I need any more long, grindy free games to play. But you know, it exists. It does look like a fast world of tanks. So if you're interested, there's a new battle royale out of there. Here's a game that I think you might be interested in, Proulx. Just be careful when you do your screenshots. The game is called Metropolis Lux Obscura. It is a match 3 puzzle game. That so the art style is kind of cool, actually. It's like comic book, you know, these comic panels, hand drawn art, but there's some pornographic images in here. Very light pornographic images, but the problem is the software that flags if things are inappropriate or not maybe doesn't understand what you're doing, and so people are getting banned. Some previous bans if you share these things publicly. So just be careful. Now, Proulx, are you interested in playing this? It's $8. Is that too pricey for you?
The problem is that I'm already playing the Marvel Puzzle Quest, so I don't need any more match 3 games in my life right now.
Gotcha.
It's interesting. We actually got into a little bit of a discussion on the Discord about the seemingly double standard between the attitudes between violence and sex in society.
Right.
About how this stuff, which is, you know, like you say, the art is well done. It's very comic booky, but it's drawn art, and it's drawing all this sort of like crazy censorship. You know why that is, but I don't know. No, I don't care. Whatever. Who cares? It's silly.
Yeah. What about you, Dave? Is this do anything for you?
No, just looking at it now, it looks like the Sin City style.
Yep.
Right.
Basically, images and whatnot. But
I'm curious how, and I mean, maybe the curiosity will get the better of me, and I'll start watching some gameplay or something. But like, how do you even convey a deep, meaningful story in a match 3 puzzle game? Like, that's what I don't get. Like, how the cutscenes play in is like each, you know, when you get that Fourbanger, right? That, you know, does that, and you shoot across, like, does that,
what, Fream? What are you?
the Fourbanger?
That seems appropriate. What I mean, oh man.
You know, when you match 4 and
Yep.
typically the thing, it does like the full line
Big pop.
or whatever, a column or a row.
Mhm.
I don't know. It just, does that further the story better? Do you get, you know, I mean, like, yeah, there's got to be a match 3 porn game out there, don't you
I'm
think?
sure there is. I'm
Yeah.
sure there is.
I bet. With Steam, Proulx, why don't you do a Google search for it?
Sure. Let me do that real quick right now. Actually, you know what, Fream? You've just gotten admin access to your machine. Why don't you just go and see what you can find?
I should.
Interesting fact, by the way, about that.
What's that?
You're actually twice as likely, I think, as the figure to get a virus from like a church or a religious website than you are from porn.
It doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, because obviously that's the business of porn. So they are heavily invested in security, whereas churches are oftentimes done from, volunteers, people, there's no money really involved. So they don't really know what they're doing. It's just an interesting fact that I always tell people. So be careful where you search.
Yep. And it's always like those things where it's like, and the most popular things are those, celebrity nudes or whatever, right? Where it's like, oh, you got to see what happened here. And it's like those, because those reach the level of the casual observer would be interested in clicking it. Not like the people who actually know, if I'm going to look for some seedy images, I know where to go. These people are like, oh, I'll just click on any random garbage I find on the internet. And sure enough, that's where you get stuck. So as enticing as those, listen, people in whatever city you live in, they have a $1 billion idea that and the insurance companies can't believe it. You should click on that. That is outstanding. I've been watching this crossout video here, and it is just, you know what it reminds me of? So I'm gonna redact my initial comment of saying World of Tanks and Mad Max. I'm now going to take the Mad Max and I'm going to combine it with Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts.
Wow.
You are not selling anybody at this point, so you've completely killed all interest in this game. So
I'm like watching this and I'm thinking, like, I'm watching how these cars handle, and I mean they look like remote control cars with guns on top of them. And maybe if I got my hands on it and it played like, did you guys ever play Twisted Metal back in the day on the old PlayStation? Mm-hmm. That type of combat, which was just that was fun. I always played the dude who either I played as Sweet Tooth, right? He's pretty titular. The ice cream truck candy guy. Or Axel, that dude who, like the naked man who had the giant wheels connected to his hands. Does this do it? Proulx, anything?
No.
Are you familiar with this game at all?
Well, I mean, I'm aware of the game, and I think my brother played it, but I never was a PlayStation guy. So
yeah, okay. Dave, did you have a character?
I didn't have the game. No, I went to friends' houses and played it a couple of times, but not like.
Do you remember anybody? There's also Calypso too. He drove that caddy, that purple and green caddy.
Yeah,
I think it was.
That was one that I remember.
In
Sweet Tooth. Those were the two main ones I think I usually.
Yeah,
played with.
Sweet Tooth was Pennywise's brother, right?
I don't know what the what the deep lore is on the Twisted. Somebody said they were going to make a movie of Twisted Metal at one point. Anyway, that's just bizarre. Yeah, I wish so. If it played like that, which was more of like a, kind of a loosey goosey kart vehicular combat type, like an old school Mario Kart Twisted Metal, maybe. But like I can't, by watching the video, get an understanding of what the mechanics are, because I feel like the way they're slipping and sliding all over the place is not good, and it looks like this micromanaging of your vehicle is pretty miserable. I don't know. Anyway, it's free. Someone in the community, give it a shot. I know there's people out there who will pretty much
someone
play
who is
anything.
not Fream. Try it out.
Someone
let
who's
them know
not
how
me.
it goes.
Tell me how crossout is, and if it's worth. No, don't tell me if it's worth my time, because it's definitely not worth my time. But just I want to hear about it. What else do we want to talk about here? Okay, so we talked about Lux Obscura. Be careful with that. I know some people in our community already bought it. I think Chin Doctor got on board, and others may have dabbled. I think the final thing that we want to talk about here is from Dave, you posted this, and I know it's been going around. When is the date that this transition happens? This is, of course, Xbox Live Rewards is going to become Microsoft Rewards, right? That's the way it's going?
Yep, that's what's happening. It will be the end of June, I believe. Let's see here. The Xbox Live rewards will be ending May 31st as far as you being able to earn the rewards. And then you'll have until June 15th to get any of your additional prizes that you want to get. Because they have the VIP perks area that you can go into and get some things there in the vault. And then I believe at the end of June, it will be transferred over to your local currency, and then the rest will be deposited to the Microsoft Rewards program. And basically the Microsoft Rewards program is what used to be Bing Rewards at one point, and then they restructured that to be Microsoft Rewards along with something else that they had on the back end through their store for actually buying product and stuff like that. So they're bundling all three of these rewards programs into one now, and getting rid of all of these extras. Downside to that is, you used to be able to just jump in and do a survey every month and get 250 points right off the bat with the Xbox rewards. So I think that might go away. But it looks like they're still honoring any as far as purchases. I don't know what they're doing with the My Missions and the My VIP and all of that stuff. My guess is it's going away unless they introduce it into the new program. So the main thing to look at is if you did opt in to get the VIP, you earned gems for doing that, and a lot of people never cashed in those gems. And you might be able to log into your area, look at My VIP area, and then look at how many gems you have, and you might be sitting on a $5, $10, $20 gift card. Doesn't even have to be an Xbox gift card or a Microsoft gift card. You actually can get just a Visa gift card as well. You can get T-shirts. You can get a bunch of in-game backgrounds and characters for really low points. So there's probably some things there that people can get before this program ends. And if you don't do it, like I said, by June 15th, you will not be able to get those anymore.
Bummer. It's like the way to earn points and stuff. Is that changing at all, or is that just getting brought into the new system? Or we don't know.
They didn't give us complete yet. They have a little chart that says basically how you used to earn them and how you will earn them now. So you'll still get it for shopping at the Microsoft Store, either through Xbox when you buy a game digitally, or when you buy the hardware or software directly from Windows themselves. So all of those purchases go into one category instead of having two separate categories right now. So the benefit to that is that if you've been earning, you don't buy games as often digitally, then those games, it takes a little while to add up to finally cash in those rewards. Now with Microsoft Rewards, you can just search on Bing and you get rewards every single day. So that'll add up a lot quicker.
Oh yeah.
I think they're getting rid of, actually it does say here, you used to be able to get 10% back on your purchases with VIP star rankings. Those members will now get bonus points in the new program. I know they have two tiers right now. They have a silver and a gold. I don't know if they'll extend it out to something more. And then as far as renting movies, renting TV shows, buying hardware, software, consoles, things like that, all of those things will all get you credit. But I don't see anything about the surveys or the easier things that they had available on the site to do. They also had like a lot of the play, 10 hours worth of any free game. They might roll some of that over because a lot of those surveys were what things did you like about the program, what things didn't you like about the program. So I'm sure they're going to look at getting some of those things in there to keep some of those people to be members because, as you know, rewards means that you're coming back to that site. You're going to go ahead and look and see what's there. And that's what they want. They want the clicks. So.
Interesting. Fantastic. Let's move into some listener feedback. We got a bit here. JJ Aldana starts it off by asking, he said, so at my work, the Elite controller is discontinued. It's probably been like that for a while. If they made an update to the Elite controller, which there's been rumors out there of Elite 2.0, what features do you want to see?
I mean, it kind of goes without saying. We've talked a lot about this in the past. I think it really should be bake-proof, or at least heat-resistant. No.
What about...
No. Easily. The one thing that they really need to do, seriously, because I loved my Elite controller, and it wasn't just me dropping it in the oven, like, we're talking about working on the longevity of the controller itself. There were some like glue issues with the rubber handles that I know I'm not the only one that has experienced it. With a lot of heavy use, they kind of start to tear off and almost makes it unusable. Also, replaceable sticks, not just the tops of the sticks, but the entire unit, because stick drift is really bad on the Xbox One controllers. If you could replace that, you could kind of make it an indefinite controller. You could make a controller you could essentially replace for as long as you wanted to.
Right.
So I really think they should work. If you're going to spend $150 on a controller, I really think they should work on the durability of it and making it as long lasting as possible. That is my one complaint. And I would love for the Elite to be my daily driver still. And I'm sure I'll get the next one. And I want, if I get it, I want it to work and work flawlessly for 3 years. And if it doesn't, I want an easy way to fix it, to replace the bits that aren't working and keep the rest of the controller. So that's my biggest thing with the Elite controller.
Sure, I gotcha. Dave, what about you? You have an Elite, right?
Yep. Yeah, mine's still working pretty well. I haven't had any issues with it. I do know the tackiness that you're talking about. I haven't had it happen to mine yet, but I know that a lot of mice and keyboards and all those things that you put your hands on quite a bit, some of those can start to get gummy and whatnot too. It's, just the materials that they're using. So that's an easy fix, and that's something they should have looked at as far as getting feedback with that. I love the weight of it. It feels like the right amount, so I hope they don't bulk it up too much more. I mean, it's not going to hurt, but at the same point, it does feel good at this where it is right now. And then as far as just like you said, you can always improve triggers and sticks and things like that. So I think that's what they're mainly going to focus on. I don't know that it was frowned upon in the community. It did work really well, and the third-party ones that have come out have been more expensive and added extra features that I don't know the community's jumping at, to get right away. So just as far as like more programmability, that's about it.
That's kind of what I was thinking too, like whether you could do things like, put some turbo in there and have some of those kind of functionality. I'm not sure that we're interested in doing that. But that'd be great. Like if you had a little bit more, from that standpoint. Other than that, like I don't, mine's in pretty good shape. I don't use mine that much, right? So like, I mean, I use it all the time. But when I'm only gaming, a couple hours a night, like I'm not getting as much wear and tear on my controllers as like most people do. So I could see why. It fails on people much faster than like I would notice. But
I was thinking of one other thing too, and if I remember correctly, this could have just been a fever dream or something that I wanted to happen previously. But I kind of remember there being a rumor about this, some sort of design labs involvement with the Elite controller. Maybe it wouldn't be as robust or as wide ranging as the regular controller, but just some customizability with that. I like the look of the actual Elite controller a lot, and maybe I wouldn't even change it, but if it gave me the option, for a few extra bucks to throw some colors in there, the ones that I wanted, or engrave it or whatever, I think, maybe some people don't like the rubber grips or whatever. I think that is an option that they could go down as well. So
yeah, absolutely. I got a private message here from Blue Thunder 7388. He says, "Hey, so earlier this year, I reached a milestone, 700,000 Gamerscore. That's a big milestone." He says, "And I happened to mention it to my wife. And in the past, I've tried to explain Gamerscore to her, but she just doesn't get the idea of worthless points you receive for accomplishing meaningless tasks. She knows I enjoy playing video games, but wish I played less often. And anyway, long story short, she asked me a question I'm having a hard time with. If somebody offered you your Gamerscore in cash, tax-free, so 100,000 Gamerscore would get you $100,000. If they gave you that straight up, but you could never play video games again, would you do it? At 700,000, he is not sure that he would. He could possibly retire on that much. It depends how old you are and what you do with your money. But What do you think? Certainly work less. I said, by the way, love the show. Thanks. What do you think, Proulx? Would you just passed 300,000? Would you take $300,000 to not play video games again?
No, I don't think it's worth it. 300,000, not a tremendous amount of money. It's a lot of money at once that you wouldn't normally get. I mean, if I was lost my job or was homeless or something, certainly, but where I am now in my life, I enjoy playing games as a hobby. I wouldn't want to lose that. And that's a lot of money, certainly, but that's a lot of time that I spend and energy and investment in the games that I play and social experiences that I have playing with friends and all that. No, I don't. I wouldn't. I don't think I would. That's maybe if I had like 2 million Gamerscore or something like that. Maybe.
That was my next question. Is what is that value? So Dave, what would you do it?
I mean, if it's just general, no more video games again, nah, I don't think I could possibly do that. There just wouldn't be what I'd be interested in gaining money for not doing something that I enjoy doing with not just by myself in the basement, not talking to anybody. I do it with friends. I do it with family. I do it, it's something that is a community that we've got all around us between the community to Z and my Extra Life crew and everything else. Like, it's a big part of my life, so that would be pretty hard to say yes for money to do that.
Right. No,
and think of the video games that we're going to get in the future. So if I have to stop playing video games now, what's coming out next? And the VR.
That's the thing. We're like
augmented reality and
yeah, we're 20 years away from the holodeck, man. I don't want to give up on this stuff now. No way.
Yeah, for sure. I'm the same way. Like, I do far too much gaming, like, and this has become just what I do. This is like, certainly my friendships are all through here, and a great way for me to spend time. Because what would I do to replace that time? That's the thing. Like, nowadays, would I read more? Maybe. I certainly would watch more TV. Well, that's not great for me. Like, what? Something has to fill that void. From a hobby standpoint, I guess in theory I could spend time with my family and stuff. I feel like they get enough time.
Would you think Mixer or Twitch would take over your life and you'd watch people do it instead of actually doing it yourself?
Maybe.
Or you still got to keep the podcast going, so you got to know about the new stuff, and that's about the only way to figure that out.
Ooh, that would be tough if that was the case, because then it's like if you had like an eating, well, I mean, people who do have eating disorders, they have to eat to stay alive. It's like, so if I had to still talk about video games yet not play them, oh my God, that would be just torture. Where it's like every day you have to be subjected to, like, this is all the cool things that like everybody else is doing, and you can't. So, that was your choice. You've got all this money, but yeah, you can't you can't play any more games. Sorry. Oh, that doesn't sound good at all. Now, is there a dollar value though that you could be convinced to do? Like, is there some type of, some quantity of money that you would say, okay, now we're getting, that's significant enough that I probably can't say no. Proulx, you started saying like 2 million. What are you thinking? Is that close, accurate? Not high enough?
He's speechless.
Speechless. I took it out of him. What about you, Dave?
No, I mean, 2 million is definitely a lot of money. And there are board games and card games and puzzles and things like that. But so I think it would have to be up that high, or I would try to barter. As far as, does it have to be 100% give up games? Can there be a certain amount of time per year that I could play games for a lesser fee or something?
Like,
try to work
you'd have
out.
Like a purge, like a purge day.
Exactly.
We just switch from absolute lawlessness to like Extra Life Day.
Exactly.
That's what it would be.
Yeah.
How much more meaningful would Extra Life be for you if that was the only day you could play video games?
Yeah, that would mean a lot, and people would know that I'd be giving up the fact that I'm not going to earn the interest or something on that money that I got, or There'd be some sort of clause in order to do that, but yeah.
Though, like what would suck though is like knowing that was your day and like feeling like you wasted it. Where like if you were playing a garbage game or something, like that would be the worst. Where you had like all this great idea for all these things you wanted to do, and then maybe like when Proulx got his Sea of Thieves day one, and he was super excited to play it, and the game didn't work.
Yeah.
So you go after a new game that everybody's talking about, or something that you missed within the last year, or something like that.
Yeah, probably. Interesting. That's great. Proulx, did you have a dollar amount? Did something come up while you're deep in thought?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Money's not the whole world for me. I'm not that kind of person. I enjoy my hobby. I enjoy doing it. I'm sure there is a number. I don't know, if you gave me $10 billion, I guess I'd say yes, but it's an unreasonably high amount, and it's not anything I could put my finger on. You know what I mean? I'm more about enjoying my life than trying to find ways. I don't know. It's just a weird kind of scenario. It's something that would never ever happen in real life, so it's kind of silly to even contemplate it,
Yeah, well, I mean, people do it all the time when it comes to like when the lottery gets that high. Like my wife will tell me all the time where she's like, "Oh man, if we just won that $500 million, like, yeah, boy, if we just won that, like, oh, what would you do?" It's like people fantasize about that garbage all the time, and that's fine, that's healthy, it's fun to fantasize. I mean, and that'd be kind of where I stand is like, yes, there exists a dollar value for anything. Like you paid me enough money, I could be convinced to do pretty much anything, but I would need certain assurances. Like if you're going to make me break the law, I'm going to need to know that that's not going to put me in some legal problems. Like, but yeah, you could maybe present a convincing argument with a certain dollar amount. Yes, if I couldn't play video games, that would suck, but I could make real life Pac-Man. I could, do Brewster's Millions type crazy stuff and, get real silly. When you got crazy amounts of money, you could do wacky things. So I don't know. There are opportunities to get kind of silly every now and again. Let's move on to another question. We got Darth Ryloth, who has been spending some time with us in Discord now, which is great. He wonders, do you think that the value or integrity of achievements has gone down because of the onslaught of easy games? He brings up examples of like Telltale or the ACA Neo Geos, the walking sims, the point and clicks. Do all of these games lessen the value of achievements? And we've had this kind of discussion a few times. I'm wondering have your thoughts changed at all with the growing prevalence of these things? Dave, where do you stand?
I think this is where obviously TA comes in handy, because it gives us a value that way, as far as, okay, the manufacturer or publisher said that this is a 10-point achievement, this one's a 20-point achievement. We got lazy and here's 10 achievements, each of them are 100. TA basically says this one's really hard to get, this one you're going to get right away. So I think that's where it comes into play. But if you're going direct as far as what the achievement is, earning it, once again, it's a hobby. It's something that we do. It's something that we enjoy as a community, finding games to get the quick ones and also finding ones that are really hard and being proud of those achievements. If you look in general as far as what we get at our end of the year, I'm definitely a lot lower than you guys are as far as where my achievements are. And I'm still in the top 2% or 1% every single year of actual people with a Microsoft account, according to the Microsoft email I get. So I think we look at completely different. So it's not going down in my thoughts.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same boat, but I want to hear what Proulx has to say.
I think there was an article on Kotaku the other day where they were talking about the amount of games released, recently, or, the kind of the trend of how many games have been released year by year, and how, I can't remember, like I'm going to get these numbers wrong, so forgive me, but it was like 20,000 games on Steam, and like 7,000 or 8,000 have come out just this year. I think
Jeez Louise.
I and again, getting those numbers wrong, but kind of that sort of trend. I think that's the case here. I think we are getting a lot of easy, super easy indie $5, $10, 2-hour, 1,000-point achievement games, but we're also getting a lot of games just in general.
Yeah.
So I think the trend certainly is. It's just that there's so much that there's more of everything. There's also a lot of hard games that are coming out too. And, you know, yeah, I agree totally that TA ratio is a good way to help. Also, if you're, you know, Gamerscore isn't an inherently social thing too. If you compare yourself with somebody else and you go down their list and you see, cough, cough, Elroy, ACA, Neo Geo, ACA, Neo Geo, ACA, Neo Geo, you know, the whole way down, well, maybe you're whatever you're at. No, I'm not teasing just Elroy, but, you know, whereas if you go down somebody else's list and it's like, oh, hey, look, they completed Gears of War and this and that. And, you know, it's kind of that social element as well. There's always been that sort of bit to Gamerscore.
Right.
Where not every game is, and that's the whole point, that's the whole reason that True Achievements was created, because not all achievements are created equally. And there's a very good reason for that. So, I don't know, I'm okay with it, and I don't think it's necessary. I think it's, it may trend one way or the other, depending on how developers are working, or which games are being released at that time period. But I don't know. I just think we're just so much games. There's so many games being released all the time now that it's easy to say, oh man, what do you think about the easy ones that are being released all the time? Well, there's tough ones too. There's 500-hour games that we don't talk about generally, because that's just not what we are into, you know?
Right. Yeah. And I think, I mean, you know, it's, so recently I've been on just this, I think it's probably related to the GTA SC for the most part, but like I've had this kick of just ripping through some Gamerscore, and it's been awesome. Like just earning tons of points, playing some real quick, like, you know, fast and easy score, and just racking up some high values. And it's like, you know, it's just totally... They're not hard games. They're great experiences. They're small, short, little indie things. But, you know, having that as an option for me right now, just because I just want to be scoring, that's one way to play. But, you know, maybe I'm going to go through a kick where I want to play a bunch of AAAs, and I just, you know, hey, I just don't want to worry about achievements for a while. I'm just going to sit and focus and you know, play something for hundreds of hours. Like when I got sucked into Destiny back in the day. Like, you know, that's a way to play as well. I mean, even hearing people in the community, and we had talked about the random to-do list. Like right now, I love my curated random to-do list. Like it's still random enough where I have, you know, some variety in the types of games that are popping up, but it's tight enough where it's realistic for me to get 10 to 15, you know, and feel like I've accomplished something. So, you know, having those options available to me, that's what's awesome, is just, you know, being able to, for this huge swath of games to pick from. And yeah, I can do whatever I want. So while yes, it may, just because it's looting the pool out, just because there's so much out there. I mean, I've scored the most I've scored in a long while. Like I have more Gamerscore than in the first 4 months here than I've gotten in a significant period of time. And that's been super cool. Like, I feel like I'm just killing it. But then I look at what I play, and it's like, I literally could have done this September through December last year, and it would, you know, it didn't really matter. All these games are old, and they were all available to me anyway. But I, you know, that's what it is now. And like Dave said, with sites like True Achievements, where you have, some type of gauge and measure. Because the beauty about achievements is you typically get what you put into it. So if it's a challenging thing that you are doing, that heightens your level of anxiety, your anticipation of unlocking it. Maybe you're going to throw a controller here or there, but the fact that you're trying so darn hard to get this, and then when you finally break through and get that success, that feeling, that doesn't change if it's worth 5 Gamerscore or 100 Gamerscore. It's what you put into it, and that you are getting the payoff emotionally from that. So I don't know. I just like having so many options that sometimes I need points, and they're there for me, even though they're garbage ACA Neo Geo games. To be honest, I actually haven't played that many ACA Neo Geo games, so I feel okay about that. I do have one on my random to-do list this month, though. Ugh, gross. Professor Pluto asks, any thoughts on Wolfenstein: The New Order as one of the most compelling stories? We had that that question last week about, games that have major, really compelling stories. So he asked about Wolfenstein: New Order. He agreed with everything else we said, but have either of you played the new Wolfenstein games?
Yeah, I have.
And Dave, what about you?
No, I have to sit this one out. I haven't played them.
I haven't either. So Proulx, why don't you? What do you think? I've heard some pretty great things.
No, it's great. That's an amazing game. I don't. The story itself, I wouldn't call compelling. It's not bad. It's more about the characters for that game. The world building, I think, is bigger than the story itself.
Yeah.
It's basically Nazis are bad. And go kill all the Nazis. As far as the plot line goes, I suppose you could kind of boil any plot line down to that. I wouldn't argue putting Wolfenstein in there. That game is fantastic. 100% all the way around. You're going to have a good time with that game no matter what. And now I'm not going to nitpick. I would not argue putting forth the New Order for that sort of stuff. And I have Wolfenstein 2 now, and I want to get to it soon because I really actually am itching to play that game. But
yeah, I would part of me wanted to kind of throw that up for Game of the Month considerations.
Oh,
just because it's one of those things I want to play real bad, but I think it's a little too long.
Yeah,
but I don't know. It's borderline.
I would, that was my first impression as well when you suggested it just then. But I don't know, man. It's so good.
It's only, what is it, 20 hours?
Well, according to TA, I've played it for 33 hours. Which isn't unfeasible for a month.
No.
But it's a little on the long side. But I don't know, man. If more people are going to get exposed to that game, it's so phenomenal. It's so much fun. And I didn't do it the most efficient way either.
Yeah.
So I would say maybe next round, put it up for consideration at least. Because it's a really awesome game. And it's not hard.
Yeah, it's one of those two that I feel like I missed out on it, and now I feel like, I missed the boat, so gosh, can I start it now? When am I going to play it? I wanted to do it last month for Rocker Dude, with that W, and kind of start that at the end of the month, and then, do it from that standpoint, but didn't happen. Missed it. Anyway. Awesome. But that's not his only question. He has a secondary one saying, if you could add any achievement into any game, what would it be?
So I thought of 2 things for this. I thought of one for Skyrim, which was to visit every location on the map, which is something I tend to do in those types of games anyways. And I love Skyrim. That's one of those games that kind of basically the achievements come up short for how much I want to play that game.
Yeah.
So that's an easy, simple way to kind of push that a little bit further. And my second achievement is kind of in that same vein, which would be like another Rocket League achievement. Maybe I don't even know, like win 1,000 games or something like that. Maybe that's too high. I don't know. You could balance it, but some sort of extra motivation to keep playing these games is basically what it is. You know, there's those games that you just love and love and love to play.
Yeah.
And the achievements don't reflect that. That's what I'm thinking. Like, man, if I had a reason to win I'm sure I have won 1,000 Rocket League at this point.
In. Yeah.
But it's just that little extra, man, I'm also going for an achievement and I'm loving every second of this. Those sort of games, that's where I would add those achievements.
Right. My one achievement, I mean, I'm just a glory hound, so it's just got to be my name. Like, just, I don't care what game. Put me in PUBG, actually. Like, that's, or Fortnite. Do have the Fream hole and make it doing something crazy. Something that, like, you want to stream it because it's amazing, and so everyone can see it. That's what I want.
Well, the Fream hole would be playing the game for 9 of your 10 consecutive days and then forgetting to play the next day.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
That's what you do, right? Take Sunday off.
Oh man, can you imagine developers actually putting that into the game? So say you had play 25 consecutive days, but there was also a Fream achievement, so you had to actually do it twice, essentially.
You had to break.
Yeah. Oh man. 24 out of 25 and then 25 out of 25. That would be so annoying if they actually put that in the game.
That's funny. Yeah, now we're talking. Perfect. Let's do that. Awesome. Let's see. We got a question here from Eliphalet77. He says, "Hey, Mr. Brandon, what does your kid play on his own gamer tag? He's got a 6-year-old at home this week, starting loads of games on his tag while I've been at work. Any tips for dealing with these up-and-coming gamers and preserving your own games, stats, and or saves?" And Dave, you got some kids too, so you can probably help answer this as well. Kez chimes in, Kez001. He says, "Hey, you probably want to get them their own tag, as well as considering requiring a password on the one that you own in order to prevent them from downloading or making unwanted purchases, as well as preserving your own saves. It's way too easy for anyone, especially at this age, to screw up and delete a save or wind up costing you a lot of time and frustration. Also, I mean, you end up, sharing everything on Xbox One anyway, so, with the same gold account. So you don't actually lose anything. That's great advice. Dave, do your kids game?
Yes. Obsessively. My son, every time he's 4 years old, he's still in preschool. So every time my daughter goes to kindergarten, Daddy, you can play games. And if I got something to get done, go ahead, go play the games. I'm gonna work on something else for a little bit, and you can do that. So he definitely likes to do that. But yeah, I gave both of them have their own gamer tag. I set that up pretty much once they started wanting to play. Main thing is at the very beginning, my son did in fact play Minecraft under my name, and then went ahead and purchased a couple of skins because they were clickable and I didn't have a password on it because I didn't need it before that. So I called Microsoft. They took care of it right away and said, "Oh yeah, we'll take those off, no problem." And then right after that, created an account for him. Created one for her, and they used those. The only time that they use mine is things like Peggle 2. I've completely finished that, so that means I have all the characters unlocked, and they want it, to use a different character than what they have unlocked because they haven't put that much time or completely understand how to play it yet to get those characters.
Yep.
Or the Pac-Man 256. You've got to collect a lot of little dots in order to get some of those upper achievements. So might as well run on mine. That way you get the extra pieces for it. So I would say those are the times that they use my account instead of their account, but that's about it.
Right.
Yeah, the big thing would be, like you said, making another purchase or deleting a save that you've already got on there.
Yeah, absolutely. I've put the fear of God in my kids about buying things. Like I've said, listen, if I see anything that comes through on my credit card that I didn't buy, I'm going into your piggy bank and I'm taking money from you. And it's like the threat of that has paralyzed them from even clicking anything. So they don't go wandering around on my, on my account at all. And I just, because I'm the one who uses it all the time, like it's annoying to put a password in there. I put a password in for like any of my quote unquote friends accounts who come over and game with me, so that theirs are preserved. But mine's open to them now.
You can just do a passcode, which is
that's what I do, and it's not. I mean, it's 6 button clicks or whatever. It's nothing special. But okay, that's not terrible. Now that my son has his Switch, though, like he doesn't even want to play Xbox anymore. Like he's got his own thing. He's been putting. It's funny because he's been like every day he'll go and he'll write down. He's like, these are my goals now. This is my goal in Breath of the Wild. I want to get all the Korok seeds, and I'm like, hey Google, how many Korok seeds are in Breath of the Wild? And they're like, there are 999, but you only need 441 to. He's like, I've got 20. Like, well, looks like you got a long grind ahead of you, buddy. you only 400 and some more to go before you max out your inventory. But it's like you can start hearing in what things he's doing. He's like, in Rocket League, I want to unlock all these things, or I want to do this, get all these titles, or in Brawlout, I want to do this, or and it's like you're literally like these are achievements. You are literally. At the dawn of achievement hunting, and you just don't know it yet.
I am starting to really, really itch for a Switch. Haha, that rhymed. Man, I think I'm pretty close to getting one. I have one question for you, Dave. You said you signed your kids up for you got them their own accounts. Just out of sheer curiosity, like what was your process for coming up with their gamer tag? Now, of course, it can be changed later, so it's not a huge deal. But I'm just out of curiosity. Like, I don't even know how I would go about doing that for someone else.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big thing is like you said, you can change it for later. But my son, his name is Benjamin. His middle name is Parker. There's a famous uncle, Benjamin Parker.
I was just going to ask if it was Spider-Man related, but
yeah, don't tell my wife. But no, she found that out shortly after he was born when people started to question it, and she gave me that look, and I'm like, "Hey, it worked. You wanted that name. It worked out nicely." So his gamer tag is Uncle Benjamin Parker, and then or Uncle Ben Parker, and then my daughter's is just her nickname that we have for her, and it just was available, so we grabbed it and put it on there. So. But like you said, they can change it at any time. It's not something that's locked in, and it just gets them started at least.
It's kind of a cool, like, man, if Gamerscore was kind of a thing back when I was a kid, it would be awesome to have the record of all the games I played growing up, It's kind of this cool thing, and maybe Gamerscore won't be around in 10, 15 years. Who knows? But just the idea of that sort of record following you, throughout your childhood and into where you get older, that's kind of a cool idea.
Yeah, I wonder how long like they'll end up preserving if my kids stay in the ecosystem, or they like, because I use my son's account to do a lot of like side boosting and stuff, so it's like. He's not really, his gamer score on there. He doesn't care about gamer score, but at this point, he's not anything that's earned on there. Yeah, there might be a few things here and there, but nothing like, oh yeah, that's mine, or that's, I feel personally, on the hook for that. So I wish Nintendo would do something, because he's like just so into that ecosystem that. Like that would be great for him, but just they're not there yet.
Yeah, I was gonna say
they're not there yet.
I've got a 3DS, and same thing as far as not wanting my game saves to get messed up. I wound up getting him a 2DS for Christmas, and now he can use that. But as far as I want to play that one game that you have on there. Oh, it's digital. Let me go ahead and log in, and now I have to set up my account because it's Nintendo, but I can only have this on one system. Like. They haven't figured that out yet, or they have figured it out. It's about making that little bit of money that they like, because they don't like to make it in other areas. So from what we found out. But and I would say Microsoft doesn't get that either yet for Windows. If I have a couple games that he wants to play, and if I want to keep a specific game save, he has to either play on my account or he can't play it under, if I have a family account that's set up for the computer. So that's the only spot that they're lacking in so far.
Yep, absolutely. Gosh, I think that's it for I think the show. I don't really have anything else now. There's a fun thing that TA does, and it's for Knobs and Discos, the home for unobtainable and discontinued achievements, where they talk about the delistings each month. Now, of course, it's late, right? Because it's March's list, but these are things that are gone. What was your favorite Ben-Hur moment? That thing is.
I really liked when I was, whipping those horses and no, there's nothing good about Ben-Hur. It was terrible and awful. But we all did it. R.I.P. in peace, summer 2016 or whatever it was. I can't remember.
Yeah. Right? It's boy, that was an experience, wasn't it? That really was. Deformers too. That game, that was like that weird. I mean, it had some pedigree behind it, but nobody. He's not. I'm trying to remember who developed that. Some licensed stuff is gone. We talked about Call of Juarez, The Cave. That was going to be our game of the month, and that's not happening anymore. But yeah, it's anyway. If you're interested, TA does everything for the month in kind of a recap. Other than that, with Randy here, I don't have anything else to add. Do you guys have anything that you want to chime in on?
As far as Knobs and Discos, or in general?
In general.
Actually, I just want to ask Proulx what he thought of the somewhat April Fool's Pokemon Go update.
Oh yeah, so that was interesting because I mentioned last weekend I was in the city proper, and so I loaded up Pokemon Go, of course, because I'm down there. It's stupid not to. And they replaced all of the art, the Pokemon art, with the 8-bit sprites from the original. Well, the original games. I say that, of course, but it's actually more of the second and third generation sprites. But that was kind of cool. It was cutesy and fun, and like when you actually encountered a Pokemon, you would see their 3D model. But in all of the menus, so when you searched through your Pokemon or you were looking at the nearby Pokemon, they were their sprites. So it was fun. I really enjoyed that. It was their announcement was a little heavy-handed because they're like, new awesome graphics, 8-bit, blah blah blah. That was kind of silly.
Yeah.
But the implementation was really subtle. Not subtle, I shouldn't say subtle, but was fun and playful and enjoyable. So it was cool to see these old sprites that I haven't seen in years, because that's Pokemon has moved well away from that at this point.
Right.
And they're still doing it. I don't know how long they're going to keep it up for, but it's fun. It's a fun little Pokemon Go thing. So.
Yeah, my son was looking at my phone when we were waiting for his sister to get out of class, and he was like, "Daddy, something's different here. Are these all new ones?" And I'm like, "No, they're ones we have. They're just a different look to them. What do you think?" And he was like, "They're kind of blurry." Yeah, let's go back to some of those classic games. I'm going to start doing that with him soon to show him some of those older ones.
Yeah, it was cool. I like the throwback.
Interesting. I got some news. So I'm downloading some stuff, and so I was like for some reason I couldn't get anything to work, so I just threw PUBG on during the show here, and since I was doing the show, like I can't play PUBG, and I certainly don't have any sound. I just got second. I almost got me a chicken dinner, not even playing. It was great. The game is a buggy mess. It really is. It is sloppy. But anyway, I'm gonna share this darn picture of my top 10 finish. Number 2 out of 98 going solos. I got 1 kill, though. I did shoot some lady with a shotgun. That was satisfying. And with that, I think it's time we call it a night. I have a ridiculously busy weekend here. Daughter's birthday. I got to wake up at 6 a.m. All sorts of fun stuff going on. So, I want to thank everybody for listening. It's been super fun having the show tonight. It's been great, Dave. You being on board. I don't know if you can tell in my voice. I'm freezing in my basement right now. It is in Minnesota. We don't get spring anymore. In the Midwest here, we got about 8 inches of snow still. So yeah, it's freezing in my basement. But Dave, do you have anywhere? I know you do a lot of stuff with Extra Life. Is there anything you want to promote? Any way you want people to get in contact with you?
Yeah. I mean, since it's been like 20 minutes since I said the word Extra Life, that's what I do with gaming, and that's what I enjoy. So most people know about it. If you have any questions about it, absolutely reach out to me to learn about it. But it's a great charity that I have been involved with this will be my 6th year going, and every year I have raised more and more. Actually just gave out some of the prizes from last year because I've been a little bit behind catching up on those things. Wheezy Fuzz won the Destiny 2 Collector's Edition, the $99 value digital copy. I had one of those to give away, and he won that from me. So he'll be starting that game soon. But yeah, it's just something that I always do. You can find out about that usually from my Twitter account at Doughboyee, DOUGHBOYEE. Also always on the forums. You can catch me out over there. Discord, I'm always hanging out there as well. And with the Discord, you can definitely reach out to me through private message at any time.
Awesome. And Proulx, what about you?
People can find me online. Probably Twitter, maybe the best way. And I'm there at OneUpDan. That's the number 1, not the word. But of course, you can find me anywhere under Proulx. But I'm not going to tell you how to spell it, so you'll have to look that up. So good luck to you, and good luck to me, and I'm sure I'll hear from you soon.
You know where it's spelled in the Discord chat, and you can come over, visit us, discord.io/Z2Z. That is where most of the community chit-chats all the time. It is wonderful. We highly recommend you come over there. But there are so many ways you can reach us, like Twitter, at Z2Z, We have our email address, contact@Z2Z.com. And we just want to thank everybody for listening. If you like the show and you want to give us a rating or review, that would be awesome. And if you love the show and you want to support us financially, you can head over to patreon.com/Z2Z, all one word. So thanks again for all of our patrons that we do have. We have some prize announcements coming up at the end of the show, so you should listen to that. It'll be worth your while. And finally, if you want to get in contact with me personally, I'm at Freamhole, FREAMWHOLE. That's me everywhere. Xbox Live, Twitter. That's my online persona, so you can find me. And I hope you do. I hope you game with me. I hope you game with us as a community. Come visit me in some Sea of Thieves on Sunday nights, or whatever the game of the month is. That's a wonderful time to be a part of the community. Other than that, I want to say on behalf of Proulx and Dave, I've been Brandon, and to all of you achievement hunters and Gamerscore junkies out there, thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you next episode.
Bye.
Later.
Z2Z Podcast presents Review Z.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Review Z. I am your host, Damien. No, that's not true. I was going to do a little bit where we pretended to be, the other two guys, but that's not the case. Yeah. So hello, everyone. Yeah, this is not what you're used to hearing, but we're kind of doing a little bit of a mix-up with Review Z. We realized that we'd kind of saddled our lovely two co-hosts, Damien and Warren, with playing a new game every week, outside of their normal, gaming experience. And maybe let's give them a little bit of a break. So what we're going to kind of be doing from now on is we're going to switch off with them every other week. That's the plan right now. It could shift depending on how things go, but right now that's what we're going to do. So obviously those two are in G-Test together, so I had to bring my G-Task partner in.
Yes, I'm here.
So, so everybody, you've heard him before, very, very well known throughout the community, but MightyMango, Mr. Ryan, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. I wish it would be warm outside, but I'm doing well.
Right. I saw a little article that there's a city in upstate New York, well, the capital of New York, Albany, the police chief, he arrested Winter for loitering.
Yeah, I'd like to do the same thing.
It's a cute little PR stunt, but I think everybody's feeling the same way. We're ready for it to get warm, but I guess that's just the way it goes. So are you ready to start reviewing games here?
I am. I'm totally ready to start. I used to review games a long time ago, kind of have some hat in it. So hopefully I am entertaining enough for everybody, and maybe my insight on some games will be helpful for purchases and decisions in what games people want to play.
Okay, well then let's tell them what game we're playing this week.
All right, so this week we played a game called Deep Ones, which is developed by Burp Games, published by Sometimes You, which seems to be the new hot commodity for publishing games. It was originally released on Steam September 1st, 2017. Release date for Xbox is April 11th, so we actually got this game early.
Yeah, it's technically the day before you're hearing this episode is when it was released. So, we got it a few weeks ago, or I guess about a week and a half ago now. So what kind of a game is Deep Ones?
Well, Deep Ones is, I would call it a 2D platformer. It's based on the old Spectrum ZX or ZX, which was a primarily European console from like the 80s. It's 8-color palette, so there's not a lot of. It's colorful, but there's not a lot of difference in color.
Have you ever played on the Spectrum?
I have one.
Okay, I'm curious. I feel like, to the detriment almost of the game, this is probably one for people who have nostalgia for playing on that system. At least it comes across that way to me, because I don't have any sort of warm, fuzzy feelings about this. With the colorful sprites, but the really dark backgrounds. Generally not a background at all. For most of the game.
It's very dark. Other than the colors kind of pop with especially on the one. I mean, it gets bright, but it really is just like the Spectrum games were back in the old days, where the backgrounds are black and then all the sprites are all the only color that you have.
Yeah, and it's. I just feel this way, even though I've never actually played the Spectrum myself. But I also feel like they limited themselves in terms of actual the game itself. It's very simplistic. There's 2 buttons, jump and
controls.
Shoot. Yeah, and it is slow, really slow.
It does have dash though. Remember, later in the game there is a dash function.
Yeah, there's for 2 sections, right? I mean, you only get there's normally you have a gun, and then there's a section or 2 or maybe 3 in the game where you get a sword instead of a gun.
Which is an awful weapon.
Which is terrible, because it takes a second and a half after you press the button for the animation to go all the way through.
Correct. And the animation changes, and depending on how the animation is, it depends on how the hit box is. And you can't control it.
Yeah, and but to be fair, the enemies also have the same restrictions. The enemy will have to walk up to you. If he's a melee enemy, he's going to have to walk up to you, stop, initiate his animation, and you still have time to respond to that point. It's it is so crazily slow.
It's very slow.
So I feel like it's just clunky, and because I've never played the Spectrum, I can kind of see if they were doing that intentionally, because it's supposed to replicate that feeling of playing on this old system.
I don't think so, because I've played games on the Spectrum, and the game feels like mush. The controls are like you're playing with a controller in a thing of potato salad or something. It's just they're mushy and not precise at all. And the game requires you to do precision tasks, and you can't do them because the controls are so sloppy.
Yeah, it's true. It's a frustrating experience, especially. I feel like if you were to go into this game with a full guide, you would probably get it done much faster and have a better experience. You wouldn't get hung up on tiny little things. Like you and I both were, we were talking to each other when we were playing the game, and there were times that we were both just got to a part and I don't know what to do, man.
Yeah, there's no guidance as to where you're supposed to go, where you're supposed to be, and you die and die and die and die until you finally get so frustrated you stop. Having somebody to throw ideas at, like we did, works. A guide will probably make the game a lot easier, but still, it's not. I would not call this an easy title.
Yeah, I was actually just thinking. So I completed the game tonight. The game Deep Ones, by the way, that's what we're talking about. And I'm trying to decide if I would recommend it to someone, because for achievements specifically, because we had a frustrating experience with it, but I do think with a guide it would be manageable. You're not going to have a lot of fun playing this game.
No,
at least
fun.
I didn't. Like you say, just constantly dying, or stupid design decisions. Like there's a boss battle where you're fighting this guy, and when you knock his health down to a certain level, a ginormous text box will pop up in the middle of your screen,
Yes,
and you will not be
doing.
And
no idea.
This is the melee boss, so you have to run up to him and hit them very close.
Yeah, and now we didn't really get into what the game looks like. Think of 2D BioShock, but in 8 color graphics and really slow animation. Your character is basically an underwater diver.
Yep.
So,
or does your sub crash in the beginning?
I think it crashes at the beginning.
Yeah, and then I guess basically you try to get out of the bottom of the ocean, fighting turtles and undead pirates.
Turtles which apparently shoot things at you.
Yeah, yeah, that was strange. And most of the game is spent platforming. That's the name of the game here.
Yeah,
with obviously the combat mixed in, but it's really rudimentary. Again, like we said, it's a 2-button game. So.
Yeah. It's a game that has design qualities from the 80s. You want 2 buttons, no more. It has the dash buttons, which is the bumpers, but that's very minimal in the game, and I guess that would have been akin to older games double tapping the D-pad or directional control.
Yeah, and other than that, there's not really much else to say. So I think with a guide, you could probably beat the game in, I'd say, 3 hours-ish.
I'd say 3 hours. The achievements are all based on certain points of the game, and then so if you're going 3-4 hours getting through the game, not doing cleanup, I'd say you get 600 points roughly out of 1,000.
I think even when I completed the game, and I was kind of keeping an eye out for most of the achievements, I was probably right a little under that. I'd say maybe 515 or something like that, or something right around the halfway mark.
I got stuck on the pirates, so I got one of those achievements pretty quick.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I didn't have to grind out the pirate one. You may just get it naturally on your first play. You will certainly get it naturally. That's one you won't have to go for.
Sure.
But so it's a game where there's one achievement that will force you to partially replay it twice. So you have to go through the game like you normally would, beat the game, lots of stuff.
Yeah.
Then you have to go through to a certain point and beat this boss 2 more times. So that's kind of what you're looking at as a very basic roadmap for the achievements.
Yeah, did you do it 2 more? Did you play through the game 2 more times, or did the second killing of the one boss count? I've read that.
No, so
that the one boss counts twice in the game.
Yeah, so it doesn't. That's what the guide says on TA right now, and I kind of want to comment on it. He says you fight that boss twice in the game, and I don't know why he says that, but you don't. So you actually have to fight that boss battle 3 times, so 3 partial playthroughs. By my 3rd time, I was getting through that section up until that boss in about 30 minutes, so it's not terrible.
Sounds about
but it's annoying. It's just annoying, that's all. Everything else, there is some missable stuff, so I wouldn't go through it without a guide, because there are some stuff towards the end of the game that if you miss, you'll have to play the game all the way through. It's not hard, but if you're not aware of it, you can definitely miss it.
For sure. And the game price is $4.99, so it's not going to be an expensive game. So if you want to try it and you're into old style graphics, old style gameplay, go right ahead. If it was me choosing to play the game, and if it was one that I saw on the list, I probably would pass, even though I have a huge nostalgia for older games.
Yeah, I would say especially, I guess specifically the Spectrum. I don't know, maybe if there are a handful of people out there that really, really dig that. I will say that
maybe more listeners from Europe would like it, because maybe that's what they grew up on.
Mm-hmm. I will say I did enjoy the music. I thought the music was well done. And one other thing to note, I don't know, do you know where the developers are based?
They are based from Odessa, Ukraine.
Okay, yeah. So there's some localization issues. In fact, so the first achievement that you're going to come across is the description is the diver falls to the bottom, that's pretty fine. The one that really got me, which I now call the Mario achievement, is you need to kill 20 sharks. Is the description.
Yeah,
so
it's like Borat was telling the description.
Yeah, exactly. So some silly stuff there.
Yeah, what was the other line? It was you need to make shoot, and shoot was spelled SHOT.
Yep. Yeah. So just there's not a lot of text in the game or anything like that, but it's just the little bit there is, you can tell. I don't know if they use Google Translate or what,
like
but
that. It's pretty poor, but not to the point where it's so egregious that it's annoying.
No, it's more silly than anything. What are the the other achievement descriptions? This is for going into the bar in the game. Is what about drinked?
Yes.
So some silly stuff there to have fun. Yeah. So I don't know. I think $5 is totally reasonable. For this game.
Totally reasonable.
But if you're really itching for something retro and maybe the Spectrum was your thing. Well, yeah, I don't see why not for $5.
If you're looking for fast Gamerscore for $5, you're probably going to find some other games that are a lot quicker. I don't see this being one that people are using to get points for GTask by any means. No.
Although obviously because the game actually isn't technically out yet, the TA is massively inflated right now. It's 2,000 right now, and it should be like a 1,200, maybe a 1,300.
I'd say 12, 1,300.
So there it is. There's deep ones, and check it out if you're interested. But maybe save it for a rainy day.
Yeah,
I guess
that's what I would do. And actually, before we go, speaking about GTask, since our partners in the Review Zed crew are not here tonight, we have the information for this week's sneak peek.
Oh, that's right. So what is it? What is it's 2 days for us from now, but so what is this week's bonus going to be?
This week's bonus is to earn 50% more than you did the previous week in terms of TA, achievements, and Gamerscore.
Oof. Now that's tough.
That's tough. This is going to be the single bonus too. This is not for teams, so this is a single bonus.
I even just this game, starting and completing this game, probably really knocks me out of even possibly going for that. Do you think you'll shoot for it?
I have no chance. No. Zero chance. I think I would need at least 100 achievements, I think.
Oof.
So, yeah, I'm out.
Yeah, me too.
I know a lot of people are going to go for it.
Yeah, so, getting that a little advanced foreknowledge didn't help us at all this week, so maybe next time. But,
maybe next time.
Yeah. Okay, so that was Deep Ones, and thanks for listening, and we'll hand us back to Fream.
All right, everybody, it's a brand new month, and so here we go, community roundup time. Oh, and guess what? It's just after the 7th, so that means we've got prizes. Let's start off with the GTASC, the Great True Achievement Score Challenge, Period 12. This ended on April 4th. Top Zeds for the week were Eat, Sleep, Complete, Repeat. This team of Smirnov and Redemption, they scored 5th overall. Our near miss, an Englishman and a Welshman enter the GTASC. The team of Keith, 27-11-79, and Mick Lovin Legend. They're 23 places over elimination, about 280 TA. Elimination, well, it was only a matter of time, and but this is the week. Kahuna Matata, it means Freem worries. The team of Freemhole and Kahuna 28. Yeah, you heard about it on the show. We are dead skis. Could not keep the team afloat. It happens. Still the individual, so that's all right. But all good things had to come to an end. We had the TGN All Stars going out this week too. Team of True Achievement and WebChimp UK. They are gone. We also lost the Mystic Typhoons, which is Mystic Typhoon and Foom or Fum. I'm going to say Foom. Casual is better. The team of Marky B. Hoy 89 and Lathanar, that's the word. Team CGC, team of K-Bo 77 and John Pickle Willie, and the Brothers of Destruction, Eridor X Dead Men Walking, and just for funsies, the team of J Black and Craze Connect 18. So a bunch of eliminations this last week. As far as the individual side, well, Smirnov takes the top spot in 6th place overall. Raptor XTMX, he was 22 places over elimination, about 65 TA. It was narrow at the bottom there. The elimination, well, we lost WebChimp UK and R56 Cooper S11, and you also heard on the show, Doughboyee missed by 10 TA. Man, what a bummer. It's April. Random to-do lists are out. We've got our brand new things to focus on. Hopefully you are just clicking away fantastically. Now, this is the end of the trimester here, so once April is done, technically we will have a brand new set of, new global leaderboard. We'll kind of restart everything. And Elroy was giving you all this doom and gloom about us messing the things up. I don't think we're going to change anything for the RTDL, the current version of the RTDL. I love it. I like curating my list. I like picking, what I have, all that kind of stuff. But there's been some chatter in the community, and so it got me thinking. Well, what if there was a different version, like a secondary competition? So I'm just looking for input on our forums. You can head over to forum.azz.com, and there's a post in there that says RTDL suggestion thread. And in there, I pose the idea of a super RTDL. The concept essentially is that it gears toward the more traditional randomness of a to-do list. So kind of to sway against curators. What does that mean? Well, I don't know. So I'm looking for help. What might make sense in that regard? Some things we're thinking maybe like bigger lists, right? 5,000 achievement minimum, 7,500. I don't know. Higher minimum pool size. So you need either number of games, number of achievements, whatever the case may be. A longer time frame. Maybe it's 50 achievements and you take 2 months to do it, or it's 100 achievements over 4 months, or I don't know what makes sense from that standpoint. But that's a concept there as well. Or just taking out the option of curating, right? Have a secondary list where you add a set of games to a different drop down, rented or borrowed or whatever. Pick something else that hopefully Tarragon can run a script for. Again, I haven't run any of this by T. Haven't run any of this by anyone in the community. We're just kicking ideas around. So if you've got something, if this version of the random to-do list is just not doing it for you anymore, and you want something new, you want to take a crack at something, give us an idea. Let us know. As far as March, well, we had 87 people unlock at least a single achievement. There were 502 achievements total unlocked for the month. And our winner, with only 4 achievements unlocked, a 0.8% chance of winning, Professor Pluto. Congratulations, Professor X Miserly Pluto. Alex, congratulations. You are our random to-do list winner for March. Our community challenge, well, March was spin-offs. And those were games outside of games. We had 17 people enter with 819 total entries. And our winner, with 37 entries, a 4.5% chance. Well, it was X Towers. Congratulations, X Towers. You won the March Community Challenge. The challenge for April, we've mentioned before, it is Happy Birthday, Tom Clancy. And these are all achievements from Tom Clancy games. There are plenty out there, Splinter Cells, Ghost Recons, etc. So you will find all you need in the forums, forum.zzz.com. That has all the details. Head over there, take a gander. Gamertag. Well, the gamertag for the month of March, Rocker Dude 5012. We had 18 people enter that, and our winner, and everybody who entered got full credit for it. I know Koosh got close, but he was missing that R. That doesn't that drops you out to 0. We had 18 people, and the winner for the Rocker Dude 5012 was Reset 42. Congratulations, Reset. We will be emailing you your prize here shortly. April, we've got 2 gamer tags. We have Cowboy Killer 360 and Kronos, which is spelled Xpovos. It's Greek. So there you have it. Good luck on those. The game of the month. Well, we are currently in the midst of April, Sea of Thieves month. Hopefully these, we talked about a decent amount on the show here. Plenty of action to discuss, and hopefully you're enjoying it. I'm thoroughly enjoying my, boating and whatnot. It's been great. As far as May, well, we're going to be voting on that soon. I've got feelers out. We know that we have the staff pick, we have the community pick, and we're just waiting on our Patreon pick. And we will put a post in Discord. So by the time you hear this, we'll probably leave it up until the end of next week. So not a great deal of time when this podcast releases, but those of you who spend your time in Discord will see it earlier than that. And so you can vote. We'll have a pick probably. So then when the next show releases, episode 122, we'll have an announcement of what May Game of the Month will be. I'm looking forward to that. That'll be fantastic. As far as our Patreon giveaway goes, it is the full game edition, and our winner for the month of March, was Foo Cuddly Poof. So congratulations, Foo. We'll reach out to you, get you in a brand new game. Perhaps that is the game you will pick for your May submission. Although something tells me you're going to want to go big instead of an approachable game for everybody else. We'll see. Also, we had a new member, a new patron in the Discord. You'll notice Wakapeel got his gold name this last month. So thanks for hopping on board, Waka. We super appreciate that. It's great to have you in our community. Now, finally, our Discord. If you're not there, man, that's the place to be, because we have tons and tons of chatter constantly. You can see streaming pics of people who are currently at PAX by the time this episode comes out. But you can look at the old photos, the archives, as it were. And we've got tons of boosting stuff going on. So if you're interested in getting part of the community, gaming with us, setting up some sessions, picking up some games that you're interested in. Right now, we're finishing up Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare on Thursday nights. That is 10 p.m. Fream Standard Time. Did a great job this last week. Hopefully we'll be wrapping this up here in the next few weeks. Also doing Battleborns on Wednesdays. That's still going to be quite the grind. So if you want to get in, we're doing some real targeted things. There's a great opportunity for you to get on board with that. Star Trek Online just showed up as one of the boosting groups. I think Proulx, Koosh, there's a few people who are interested in getting in on that. And then of course Happy Wars, guys. It's ending here real soon. So people are actively working on getting that stuff done. And that's not all. I mean, Halo, there's Gears Talk, there's Rocket League, PUBG, all sorts of stuff going on in our community. We got a great group of gamers, an awesome community of people who are willing to help out with achievements, willing to play games for fun, all sorts of wonderful, exciting things like that. So if you're interested, head over to discord.io/Z2Z and come join us, have some fun. And with that, I'm going to end here. I hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you enjoy what we got coming up next. And we will talk to you later. See ya.